There we go, and I think we are live. Hello, all newcomers, and welcome back, my fellow Eternians. As always, it's me, Emperor AP, and I have a crazy announcement for you all. First off, we have Tiffany here. Ooh, that looks absolutely wonderful. I love that. Thank you. No, that's beautiful. I love it long. Yeah, I love it longer. Yeah, that's perfect. Hello, everybody. This is a surprise stream. I just wanted to let you all know we just got $400 as a new donation, gift, as well as semi-investment in the Empire of Aeternia. And I want to talk about that. This is also the stream because of the same reason to announce that David the Blacksmith, our newest citizen, our first local citizen to the Empire of Aeternia, and somebody you're going to see on the channel a lot more very quickly, has just donated $400 to the Empire of Aeternia, broken up $200 of which was just a donation directly to our land purchase fund, $200 of which also went directly into the purchase of notes, which I have right here. It's 34 pages of notes at 6 notes per page. This is an incredible event and a historic milestone for the Empire of Aeternia. It also means that David doubled Richard Taylor's historic amount of reaching 100 Imperial notes, the first time that had ever happened. Richard, of course, breaking records there, and now David coming in to try and create, oh goodness, excuse me. I just straight up fell out of the chair out of excitement. David just broke that record, smashing it entirely, donating and investing in 200 notes. For the Empire of Aeternia. So thank you so much, David, for boosting our economy, pushing us so much closer, literally percentage points, toward our land purchase fund. And I am about to be cutting these notes. We are putting together as well another historic event, our first international purchase from the Imperial market. We had somebody in the United Kingdom purchase 15 Imperial notes, meaning that we will be having a new Aristocrat joining the Aristocrat board, in addition to David's historic entrance into the Aristocrat board. And as well, we are going to be having our first international shipment with that, as well as a Unity medal that was purchased. So I am super excited to be talking to you all about this and kind of updating right before the new year the historic milestones that Eternia has accomplished. So I feel super fortunate. I feel super excited to be doing this and putting this together, and to be thinking about, a year ago, how we were trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. After Christmas, we had just barely hit 1,000 subscribers, and looking now at 1,600, trying to go to 1,700, trying to go to 2,000 at the beginning of this year is something absolutely incredible. And now we are having these milestones that are showing that that's paying off, and that's ramping up even faster for us. We have 3 viewers. First off, Aiden says, "Hey, Eternia." Hey, Aiden, how are you? Federal Republics of Ohio says, "Hey." Aiden says, "I would like to follow the rules of ethical micronationalism." Thank you, Aiden. If you can comment that to us on Discord and tell us the title and the name, of the leader of your nation, as well as the name of your nation, we can add your signature to that. The Republic of South North says, "Hello, do you guys make coins?" We do. So we make quote-unquote coins. We make little ingots. They're not exactly coins because they're not thin like coins, but they're thick little ingots. They're little discs of aluminum that we actually stamp our symbol into. You can buy those on our Etsy shop. A half-ounce Eternian aluminum ingot runs you about $4, and then whatever shipping is to your location. So it's something that's not too crazy and allows you to have a cool sort of piece of Eternia if you're interested in that. Arcovia joined and said, "Hello, Emperor AP and Empress Tiffany." Hello. It's good to see you. It's good to see you, King Carminate. It says, "Wow, awesome, guys. Thank you so much." And as well, if you like the stream, please like it. Aiden says, "No." Arcovia says, "Keep it up, guys. Congratulations." Thank you so much. So, again, a big, exciting thing for us. As well, we had David visit one time before now, and I had not prepared enough, and I did not print out his citizenship license. that he gets for being a citizen of the Empire of Aeternia. And so now what I'm actually going to do is update it to say that he is the first aristocrat and have that aristocrat title on his license, and then go ahead and print that and laminate that, because he will be showing up and taking a visit to the Empire on the 1st. So we will have that ready for him, as well as his stack, his mountain of 200 notes that he just purchased. So this is going to be absolutely incredible. Again, this really pushes us toward a land purchase. This makes it to where we are now able to start looking further into the hey, Tiffany's wearing her owl's mark. Very cool. Very cool. But yeah, so we are at this point where now we can even more seriously look at the purchase of a money transmitter's license for our money as well. So this is something that is actually like moving forward the Eternian economy, and Tiffany's already getting started with the cutting. So I am super excited. While Tiffany does that, I am actually going to do some letter writing, and I'm going to do the wax seal and everything for you guys. So we're going to have that as a part of this stream as well, kind of showing off the official Eternian seal, talking about sort of the process that undergoes. If you haven't seen our video that's all about that, I definitely recommend you check it out. But this is a really special process for us. Anytime somebody purchases something from the Imperial market, I have personally felt a deep connection to that, and I have always written a letter to people who purchase from the Imperial market. It's not something that we say that we're going to do. It's not something that I'll always do because, of course, people are fortunately buying more and more of our stuff. But I want to do it for as many as I can, and it always feels really special to be able to connect with somebody like that, especially when I hear their comments, or they message me and say, hey, I got your letter. It means the world. So I am really glad about the community that we've been able to connect with here, and I know that as we continue on, this is something that's only going to get bigger and better. Let me go ahead and get ready with our letter here. I actually need to grab a pin, but I think there's one not too far away. How's everybody doing tonight? Republic of South Nor says, Eternia is badass. Keep up the good work. Eternia forever, South Nor. We appreciate it. A very Russian name said, looked like they tried to put a link or something. Strange. Aiden says, hey, Eternia, can I say it here or not? Can you say what here? The information? You can, but I just may not remember to put it down. It would be easiest if you can connect with us some way that I can read it as a message, because it'll help to stick in my mind and make sure that I do it properly. I would appreciate that a lot, actually, because I don't think I'll be able to get to it tonight. But definitely write me, because I do want to hear more from your nation, and I want to be able to get that signed for you and posted. A lot of time we like to tell people once we upload it, because they'll be looking out for it. Okay, so in true Eternian fashion here, we have a American flag pin that we're going to be signing the letter with and stamping, so truly patriotic. And Tiffany is going ahead and cutting our notes. Yeah, it's so close. We can get scissors and cut it a little bit, and that should be fine. But you guys are getting to kind of see a behind-the-scenes process, something that most of the time isn't seen in the Empire of Aeternia. It's something we don't show. I have shown bits and pieces kind of in videos that we've done previously, but nothing like this, where we're actually going through the entire process and kind of walking through what it is that this takes, how we actually go about doing this, how the process works. You can see it for yourself here. As well, I kind of want to show off before I get started. We have made some pretty nice aluminum pieces, thanks in part to David supplying us with a very nice graphite mold that we got. So that would be very cool to continue working with and to create larger pieces with. And then as well, we have this little purified piece that would be like something that would eventually be turned into an ingot, one of the ones that you could buy on the Imperial market. And if you guys want to purchase any of this, a Unity metal, any of our Eternian aluminum, anything like that, you can do so on our Etsy site, the Imperial market. So Vistern says, founder Aiden of Vistern. Very cool. Aiden says, my title is Founding Family, the name of the Micronation Republic of Vistern. And this one is based on Beliga's format. Founder Aiden of Vistern. Very cool. South North says, hey, would it be possible if I just sent $4 in the mail and got the coin, or do I have to do it online? I don't have a bank account. That's a fantastic question. I wouldn't recommend sending cash through the mail. That's something that's very risky, simply because if it didn't get to us, you would have like no way of knowing, and there'd be no way to get it back. So I definitely don't recommend doing that. If you don't have a bank account yourself, can you talk to somebody who may have a bank account and like give them the $4 and like figure that out? As well, it would be $4 for the thing, and then whatever the shipping price would be. So again, we do all of our stuff through Etsy. That's the way that we have been able to gain support, and the easiest platform for us to keep track of everything by far. So right now we're doing it through that, and maybe in the future we can find an easier way to do that, but most things nowadays are online, and especially for doing things like calculating what the shipping will be and what the tax will be, it's just easier for us to do an online service. So yeah, if you can figure out some way to do it through there, that's wonderful. But if not, I definitely understand, and I appreciate your support regardless. We also try to do things every now and again, like the Micronational Risk Tournament, where you can potentially win an award, some sort of prize that we'll send in the mail. So one of our next ones may in fact be a little piece of Eternian aluminum, an ingot. So if you're interested in doing that, look out for that, because we may be able to send you a free one. Let's see. Matt says, yo, what? I cannot believe this. Yes, absolutely. You heard that right. David the Blacksmith has just given $400 to the Empire of Aeternia. He actually did it a few days ago, but I wanted to make this video, and I really wanted to do it as we're cutting the notes to show you how extreme this is. It's literally a stack of like 34 pages of notes. It's insane. I have never had to cut this much by hand. Tiffany's actually doing it right now, and I feel bad, so I need to jump in to help her. But real quick, let me go ahead and write this letter, seal it, and then I'm going to be helping Tiff work on that pile a little bit. I hope you guys are doing well. Matt, how do you feel about this? Matt originally was was the person at the top of the Aristocrat board, trying to stay up there. Richard always maintaining the lead, but Matt and Richard going back and forth as the number one, and having a really heavy competition there. Now seeing David just absolutely blow things out of the water, how does that make you feel? Does it increase the value you feel of the other Aristocrat positions? Because there are only going to be 10 total Aristocrat positions, and I think now with our friend in the UK actually purchasing theirs, I believe it's Sarah. Sarah in the UK purchasing hers now makes this situation where the top tier, the first Aristocrat position, the highest Aristocrat position in the Empire of Aeternia, the wealthiest person in our economy, is now David the Blacksmith. The second wealthiest person now is Richard Taylor, and that being a $200 position and a $100 position, 200 notes and 100 notes respectively. So it now takes a lot of money to get to those positions, and of course as you go down it becomes easier to achieve, but still these are, getting into the triple digits to start climbing up to being the wealthiest in our economy. This is large for what it means as far as how many notes are going to be in circulation once we start to have our money transmitters license and can use it more frequently. We have a lot of potential momentum built up here. Also, we have 4 viewers. Thank you guys for hanging out. What's up? I would say scrap those. Yeah. They're like cut. I would say scrap those. I'll print more if we need to. Yeah, and that's one thing that Tiffany just pointed out that I think is really kind of important to think about in this process. When you do stuff, you want things to be really high quality. And a lot of the time, because we're cutting paper, you just can't help that some will get ripped up and some will get torn. But, again, in trying to preserve that quality for you all who are purchasing these notes and investing in this brand new economy and this brand new shiny currency, we want to make it nice for you. And so sometimes there will be some that we have that are kind of damaged and have holes in them. And when people are purchasing them directly from us as the government, we kind of don't want to have this, we want to send them nice notes. So as we grow larger and as we have more money in circulation, I'm sure we will be having kind of ripped up notes, but I think it'll be our responsibility to sort of clean those out and provide fresh new ones. But yeah, that's again part of that process, something that you kind of don't get to see on the average everyday Eternia live stream. But we got a $400 donation. That's, I think, the biggest single donation in Eternia's history by, a multiplying factor. It's very serious and very large. This is, getting to historic levels like Stephen levels. These are starting to get to, again, Richard Taylor levels. These are absolutely insane numbers that we're dealing with now. Aiden says, I can definitely believe this. Oh, thank you so much, Aiden. Aiden says, if I become rich, I would probably give $500,000 to Eternia. Thank you so much. Well, hopefully, Aiden, if you had $500,000 to spend, that we would have a good investment strategy for you, that we would have something that would be worth $500,000, not only for you to just give to us, which we would absolutely love, and it would mean a lot, but we would want to be able to provide benefit to you for that, and to be able to have some sort of co-opting relationship for that. So I definitely appreciate that, and I hope one day we are at the scale to work with those numbers, and I hope to see you there. I believe in you, Aiden. Matt says, I feel so happy about this. Me and a lot of others argued about who would take another step further to the hundreds. I have gained a lot of respect for David and Richard. I love this movement. Oh, thank you so much. Absolutely. And that's one of the things we talked about earlier today is micronationalism as a political movement. The Empire of Aeternia, we have our own culture. We have our own unique identity. Of course, we are considering ourselves a nation and striving forward for independence as a unique people. But in that concept, we are also a political movement. In and of itself, that defines a political movement, but even more so, that culture that we develop has specific political ideas to it, wanting to take care of our citizens, wanting to make sure that everybody has an opportunity and has a baseline level of success and has all their needs taken care of so that they can enjoy their lives, so that they can pursue their passions, and so that we can be the best Eternians we can be. Did it rip? That's all right. Again, it's part of the process. We gotta, we gotta crack some eggs to make an omelet. Yep. I have had like probably 10 or 20 of those at one time where it just nicks right in a little like groove in the thing, and it crunches it. Yep. Sorry, Lovey. But yeah, this is an absolutely crazy moment, and I am blown away. I still haven't written anything on this letter yet because I'm thinking about this moment. I appreciate being in this moment with you guys. It is a ton to me. Absolutely. Second Sardinian Empire says, good afternoon, Your Imperial Majesty. Good afternoon. Matt says, however, competition-wise, this sets a whole new standard to people on the Aristocrat board. This is insane. I also agree. I think it definitely makes the Aristocrat board a lot more valuable, and those positions being a lot larger in achievement. I think the thing that's cool about this now is we can start to do crazier stuff with the Aristocrat board. Like, if you guys really want to take this on and start investing that much money to be considered the first Aristocrat and the second Aristocrat, I want to start giving out like awards for those positions. I want to start giving out, larger, more formal titles and things like that. Not titles, but the Aristocrat board in and of itself is a title. It's a prestige. But I want to be able to give out, tickets to events that we hold. I want to start having, special meetings, maybe even special, like thank you Zoom calls and stuff like that for the people who are aristocrats, those people who are spending a lot of their time and effort to invest in our movement, to invest in what we're doing and who we are as a people. And I have all of you to thank for this, even to the position that David is in now, and creating that. That wouldn't have been possible without all the people who helped to build it up before him. And so I think it's a testament to how much we have grown as a community, and every single person who's put another stone on our path to help us get to this position. I think we should all feel like this is a wonderful triumph. And we have our first set of notes ready. We got 3 solid notes. 3 out of 200 notes. We only got 197 to go. Let's go, boys. We got this. Also, 5 viewers. Thank you guys so much. If you could like the video, it helps a lot. It helps us to grow the empire. It helps us to advance our nation. And Tiffany's giving me these scissors saying, cut them up. Help me cut them up. That's true. I can clean those up. Okay. But how is everybody tonight? What's everybody doing on this historic moment for the Empire of Aeternia? Are you guys enjoying your evening? Also, I hope this means something more for people who are wanting to invest in the Empire of Aeternia who are not Aeternians. The Aristocrat board, many people may not be familiar with this, isn't just something for Aeternian citizens. Of course, Aeternian citizens have famously been some of our top aristocrats, some of our most generous and supportive members and members of our community. But even more so than that, there have been, notorious members of the Aristocrat board who are from other countries, who are the leaders of other countries, who are people who are trying to develop their own nations. So if you want to advertise your nation in that way, if you want to give yourself some sort of extra prestige as a national leader, or give your nation some closer ties to Aeternia, it is a particularly cronyistic way to do it, I suppose, but the Aristocrat board is an interesting way to build ties. It's kind of a flex, and micronationalists love to flex, love to show how much we're doing and how much we create. So if you are interested in that, if you feel like the top spot on the Aristocrat board is something of value to you, or even any one of the 10, there is a way to do that, and that's through purchasing Imperial notes on our Imperial market. And again, as we do this, I'm going to keep ramping up what the value of that position is. The higher the actual dollar value, in note value, that the first aristocrat position is worth, the more perks that position is going to have as well. These being everything from
the tiniest little bit.
That's good. I think that's fine. It's so that it was like barely a little bit of red. It didn't cut off any of the symbol. It didn't. You're good. But yeah, I would say that's the. It didn't even cut off the outline, Tiff. You're good. I promise. But that's one of the big things for our empires, trying to have those moments of scaling and those moments of growth, and figuring out how to make our society adequately attuned to that and adjust to it. We have now the opportunity to show these aristocrats what it is that they've invested in to a higher degree than we ever have before. We have opportunities that are getting lined up for us to do a lot of events, a lot of things that can create great momentum for us. So as we continue to develop, as we continue to grow, I am fortunate for everybody's support here, and I only hope to make more and more proof that investment, that effort, that support that you all give to us is worthwhile and is actually achieving the goals that it set out to. Because I know that's what most people are banking on with this is, it's not an investment that you expect to make a financial return on. It's something that you are doing to see a new society built. You are doing to see a new way of life form and a group of people be economically supported. And that's wonderful for me. It's wonderful to see so many people who are just kind and who have a belief in what we're doing to support us, not only in just direct, gifts and things like that, but even more so in purchasing our items and truly believing in the economy that we're creating, and showing and proving that these cultural items we have developed have inherent value, have a US dollar value, have an imperial note value tied to that. Now our economy is worth, hundreds and hundreds of dollars in US currency. There's several $100s in US currency, which doesn't sound like a ton, but when your currency has never been a transactable medium before, when nobody is able to effectively use your currency, but having its value set at several $100s is not bad at all. So I would say, as we continue to push for the money transmitter's license and open that up for everybody, I want to tell you all thank you. I feel lucky. Oh, very cool. Matt says, when I came back, I think we were at 1.4K or about there, and now we are at 1.6. That is also so insane to think about. Agreed. Matt also said, oh goodness, a lot of stuff. Let me go back. Okay. Tiff's killing him. I love it.
Not a bit of red on the paper.
Not a bit. It's so clean, Tiff. I love it. This is that perfection. This is what we love to see. South North says, how long have you guys been in Empire? We have been in existence for 5 years, although we have been on YouTube for 3 years. Yep, Tiff got it. South North says, and how did you design your currency? Well, I am familiar with Photoshop, and I designed it there in Photoshop myself, and I enjoy it. It's wonderful. South North says, because I'm trying to make a currency. Absolutely. One thing to remember in trying to develop a currency, just about every country in the world now has some version of a money transmitter's license, which is something that is required in order to make a currency legally in that nation. Some nations don't allow you to make a currency at all, but the ones that do generally have some sort of financial regulations involved. You have to, become an incorporated business. You have to fill out the proper paperwork to get a license to be able to issue your currency and to make sure that that currency is insured to protect the people who use it. We have a whole video on money transmitters licenses that you should go and check out and why they're important. But we actually did a live stream on it not too long ago. But that is something to think about. Is it worth it to develop a currency for your nation? And if you are developing a currency, go creative, go fun with it. Make sure to put as much uniqueness as possible into it. A lot of people just kind of put together elements of things that they have seen before. They create banknotes that are like Canada's banknotes, or like the UK's banknotes, or like US banknotes, or wherever they're from. They will emulate bits and pieces of their favorite currencies. But I recommend that you do something that is as unique as possible, because it's going to give it the most chance of success. It is something that defines your nation really well, and is, more importantly, something that is eye-catching for people, something that is feels special. If your currency looks like monopoly money, like something that anybody could kind of make and have, then it doesn't feel inherently as valuable as something that looks very unique to all the others. If it has a unique feel, if it has a unique look, that is just as much a part of the inspiration for people to support it. Let's see. Matt says, I'm happy that I have made my mark on Aeternia and that I have left some sort of imprint on it. Maybe makes me generally happy, knowing that the community is growing and I will be left in the dust. But Matt, you don't have to be like, you continue to grow in the Empire of Aeternia. That's the whole thing that we want. Not saying you have to keep continuing to always strive for first Aristocrat, but more so that we want you to be a continued part of it. I know you have developed a lot with your citizenship and really supporting us throughout the last year or so, and I really, really want to see more from that, and I want to be able to provide opportunity that allows you to stick around and that keeps us as definitely a part of your life, because that's what we want as we continue to grow, is to provide more and more opportunity for the people who really care about this and really see what it is, to be able to continue to invest in it and to feel like it gives them some benefit throughout their whole lives. And we want to continue to grow that community. So any part that you can play, Matt, we are absolutely excited for. Matt said, when I came back, I think we were at about 1 point. Ooh, sorry. Aiden says it's a golden coin and that has a star in the middle and it has the number. It says on top Republic of Vista and on the bottom it says 2022. Matt says, when I came back, I think we were at 1.4K or about there, and now we're at 1.6, and that's also insane. Agreed. Aiden says, and I have a country code. Very cool. Aiden says, several $100s. To be honest, I acknowledge the existence of hyperinflation. Interesting. How so? How do you mean? Aiden says, and you should add security features when making currency because it is a priority. Well, sure, you should create current security features, but those don't necessarily have to be physical features of the currency. That just means you have to make sure you have a system which is secure. For example, if you know how much currency any individual has, and if that currency has to be transacted through a single source, that it can't be transacted directly person to person, but has to go through a middleman, has to go through the government every time, then you will always know exactly how much currency someone should have, and so there is no way to print fake money and get away with that. That money still has to be authorized by the government and shown that that person should have that, whether from a transaction from another person who already had that amount that, somewhere down the line had been issued by the government in the first place, or to be able to, and then on top of that, to be able to purchase that directly and have that, from the government as shown as a defined true part of our currency. So there is this physical aspect to our currency, but that physical aspect is just a representation of it. It is, as it's called a banknote, there is a physical version like this, but there's also a digital record of how many banknotes are out there and who those banknotes are actively supposed to be in the who is supposed to have possession of what amounts of those banknotes. So that being the case, our imperial notes are designed in a similar way. So, you can print something that looks identical to this, and that has no effect on our actual currency system, because in order for anybody to actually get the value out of that currency, they have to be able to transfer amounts of currency that already exist in our economy, that are already predefined in records from these different investors in the economy. Also, we have 6 viewers. It's good to see everybody. Max Portillo, it's good to see you. Max, congratulations, Emperor. That's good news. Thank you very much. It means a lot. Matt said, what's our watch time hours? Still dipping in the 350. Still dipping in the 3,400s. Let me double check it real quick. But yeah, we are not super close yet. We had kind of picked up steam for a little bit there, but this last 500 watch time hours has been absolutely brutal to get. We need like one big video or one big push to be able to do it, and it's not super far away, but also not close. 3468. That's been something we've kind of been hovering around, and slowly our bottom line is like increasing. Like slowly we're getting to where 3468 is like a low point for us right now. Like 3500 is starting to get toward like a nice peak for us. So that range has been kind of what we've been flopping around for right now. And making that push from like 34 to like 37 or 38, I think is going to be the real tough thing, because, every time we put out a video, we have to make sure that that video grows so much in order to continue to push forward that number. We only have to hit 4,000 once, but that means we either have to do it in one big push where everybody just blows forward and gets us that 4,000, or we have to do it in a way that's incremental, but increasing every single time, such that it never dips down too far below that base number that we need consistently every week or month or whatever to reach the 4,000 watch time hours a year. So it's tough. We're still actively climbing the ladder, still actively trying to get it, but we have blown past the requirement for subscribers. It's just in watch time hours that we need right now. Um, Aiden says, ad infinitum et ultra to infinity and beyond. I love it. You got the whole buzz. Ooh, makes sense. He said, Tiff said you watch My Hero Academia. I was gonna say that's Buzz Lightyear, to infinity and beyond. He said, ad infinitum et ultra, which I imagine is like the Latin for infinity and beyond. Uh, Aiden says message retracted. Matt says we have to try making it before the older videos that have tons and tons of watch time hours go away. Agreed. That's the problem. Is most of them have like the ones that are like the 10,000 view ones and stuff. Those are ones that we made like 2 years ago and stuff. So those are already like most of their watch time hours have been removed. They still provide us with some, but for our top ranking video, I think it may provide us like 10 to 20 watch time hours a month. So that's not a ton in the total overall amount of watch time we're getting. A lot of that is from just consistently posting like streams and stuff. But the more that we can get that up, the more that we can actually like hype up crazy stuff that we're doing and all this cool momentum that we're building, like we can get to the point where these streams, if we can share them enough, if we can get them out there enough, if we can build the excitement about the micronational community enough, this is something that can easily take us to that watch time hour goal. It's just trying to push for that. It's just trying to build the community and have people answering questions, have people feel supported here. But I absolutely agree with that, Matt. Aiden says, weird fact, in a train station, when you breathe, is 15% human fact? What? Are you good, Aiden? I don't know. Oh, human skin. Got you. That's crazy. Is it just because it's like an enclosed space? Can you say the same thing? Yeah, but can you say the same thing about like a house or like, a school or something? Like a mall? Like a ventilation system.
Ventilation thing, but a subway I don't really think has ventilation. I think a subway is just like a concrete like basement where you're like, yeah, everyone just go down there. And the only thing that's like causing a rush of like cool air is the fact that the subway just zoomed past you. So
That's fair. Real quick, I am gonna go ahead and write this letter, but I want to continue talking to everybody and see what you guys are up to tonight. It's 1:39 a.m. for us. It's nearly 2 a.m. for us. But we are hanging out and trying to actively increase our watch time, just like you guys are talking about. So if you want to support us, if you want to help us get our watch time up, please like the video. Please share the video if you can. Tell people the Empire of Aeternia is getting hundreds of dollars in donations. We are trying to actively glow up, make this community something that is unlike anything the world has ever seen. And we're actively making strides in that. It's little bit by little bit. It's every single push that counts. And it's been working for us so far, so we're going to keep pushing along. And we're going to... Yeah. No, that's what I do as well. Yeah, I have like one side that generally stays like fairly long. And that's just how it is. That's just kind of the design of the notes.
But
Yeah.
at least you don't have like a weird top part to it now. Like you got the bottom and top lined up on this exact.
Agreed. As well as to Sarah. So thank you again, Sarah, for your purchase of 15 notes. Again, thank you to David for his purchase of 200 notes. I need to check what status Sarah is going to be, what aristocrat level she will be at. That's true. Tiffany's saying probably 8 or 9. I agree with that. Like legitimately, I think we have 9 right now. So somebody's gonna get pushed down to 10. I don't think anybody's gotten pushed off of the aristocrat board yet, but it's getting close. There's like almost 10 people. I'm curious to see who will get pushed off. A lot of them are ties. Like there's over 10 people on the aristocrat board. It's just there's like a number of ties. Let me see. Ooh, Casey Creation says, have you ever thought about sponsorships to fund Aeternia? I would.
You got 15. Because I only got 3 out of the last one. And
Yep.
that was 6. And this is 6. You got 15.
Hey, 15. Perfect. We have.
Clean up a few of the edges of the other one.
Yeah. We have Sarah's notes. That's perfect. Hey. And in case you guys were wondering, this is what approximately 15 notes looks like. It is right here. It's 15 notes. Very cool. to answer your question, Casey, yes, we have 100% thought about doing sponsorships for Aeternia. We don't have any like media sponsorships as of yet. YouTube has a program in which you can market yourself to sponsors and try to get regular like sponsorship on live streams and things like that. But it's only after you get monetization. So all of our big push right now has been toward monetization. Although we are hoping to do things that we can potentially seek sponsorship with outside of that as well. And that'll be kind of future plans, future stuff to talk about. But if you have any recommendations for how we can do that more quickly, if you have potentially any brands that you might know that would be interested in sponsorships, if you own a small business and you would like to sponsor one of the streams, I would love to set that up. Even, MicroNation, like we could sponsor or MicroNation could sponsor the channel or whatever, sponsor a live stream, and we would like shout them out and be like, hey, this is sponsored by this MicroNation. Go check out their nation and what they're doing. And so, I would absolutely love that. It'd be a great way to help build the community. And once we get close enough to our land purchase funding. What's that?
You only print enough for just the 200, but not enough
for her 15 as well. Yeah, because I was going to get some of them out of the ones that we had already done.
31.
Yeah.
30 times 6 is 180.
Yeah.
So then you have 186.
Okay. So then I'll print 3 more sheets of notes.
Sure.
So, the hope for that is that we can eventually get to the point where we are looking at like GoFundMe and stuff like that as well for or an Indiegogo campaign or something like that for crowdfunding the payoff of our land. Once we get enough money for land for a down payment, we're going to put that down payment down and start making monthly payments, and then from there we're going to try to do a big thing for an actual a GoFundMe sort of sponsorships for our land purchase, where we may give a plaque for a certain amount of money, or we may give a tour of our new land for a certain amount of money and stuff like that. So I would be super excited about it. Casey said is 2:40 here. Dang, good morning, Casey. Max says 11:39 in Los Angeles. It's good to see you in Los Angeles, Max. Glad to see somebody on the West Coast hanging out with us. Aiden says I'm hyped for 2022 because I'm hours near. It's 12 a.m. Hey, very cool. We are also Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. By the way, something killing the Empire of Aeternia. We are growing into 2022 with success, as you can see. This is our New Year's live stream, I suppose. Aiden says it's 3:40 here in Manila time. Very cool. Matt says, wait, so what will happen to the House of Treasure and others? Now, do y'all want to see what 50 notes look like? I would love to see what 50 notes look like. We're about to see it once we keep doing it. Aiden says, since paper is very thin, probably not very big. It's not very big, but still a stack of notes is like 200 notes. It's probably going to be like about that thick. It's pretty thick. Like it's a decent amount when they're all stacked one on top of each other.
Oh yeah, because when like printing out before we got the printer in itself to print them ourselves.
Yep, we had
like
just.
A lot, and then like cardboard in between it to
try
to help it stabilize, because otherwise it was gonna bend.
And it would be like thick. Like I'd print off like 200 or 300 notes.
Like
Yep, it would legitimately be like a lot of notes. And that would have been great if we had all those notes, because then I would have just had them ready to go. But, yep, they're somewhere. But yeah, so Matt, that's a great question. We actually still have the House of Treasure. The House of Treasure is still run by Master Stephen Vince. And that's something. Absolutely. Tiffany's 100% right. If you guys didn't hear what she said just because the House of Others doesn't have a master currently doesn't mean that it goes away. She's 100% right about that. The House of Others is an integral part of the Empire of Eternia, and it has a very specific function. It is our media side of things. It is our culture side of things. It is the way that we present what Eternia is and who Eternia is to our own community, people who are trying to get introduced into Eternia as citizens, those people who are going from becoming others to becoming one of us. And then in addition to that, presenting us to the others, to the external community, whether it's the micronational community, whether it's the international community of the world, whether it's on our YouTube channel, whether it's our local community. The House of Others needs to have somebody in leadership who is specifically based around that marketing mindset and who's going to be able to run those specific aspects of our nation. And that being the case, it's never going to be something that goes away. It's always going to be something that we need. It's just trying to find the right person to fill that position. But we still do those things regardless. Like the House of Others still exists, and I just run things myself instead of through the House of Others because we don't have a master there. I just run them over the top of it and give sort of quote unquote executive order through that. I just more so make declarations and move forward with things from my position, taking over as effective head of the House of Others, more so just negating that process altogether. But that is a large secondary position for us. That's something that we very desperately need, in fact, is somebody to be able to take over the House of Others and to be able to start handling our media more regularly. One of the things that we're actually going to be looking for very near to this year, starting off in the first few months of this year, I would really love to have somebody who becomes a part of our nation and who wants to put everything, their heart, their soul into our media. If there was somebody who wanted to do regular live streams for us, I would love that. If there was somebody who wanted to make nice, high quality edited videos for us, I would love that. Especially for edited videos, things that are, really good topics that are really nicely edited. If you want to, give a shot to YouTube and really, if you feel like you can make something cool, please let us know, especially if you're interested in citizenship in a government position, because we're looking to potentially pay somebody for that, where we would like subcontract to them and say, hey, we will give you a certain amount of money per video. If we like one of your videos, you make a video, we'll review it. And if we want to put it on the channel, we'll just buy it for, a certain amount of money. And so long as that person could kind of regularly do that, we would continue to pay them. One, to try and reach our monetization goals, but two, because there's so much content, there's so much stuff that we do in the Empire of Aeternia that it becomes ridiculous for me even to try and document it all and to really get it all down. But it's an important part of who we are. It's our culture. It's our heritage. It's, the history of what happens now is going to be something that Eternians, 100 years from now are going to be thinking back to like, man, well, if only we had like footage of what was happening at this particular time, or, well, this thing is really something that's not fully understood in the history because we know that it happened and we know some of the details around it, but a lot of it wasn't recorded, a lot of it wasn't documented because it was just a run and gun sort of thing. It was something that happened very impromptu. So having somebody who could take the reins on that and somebody who could take over the House of Others eventually would be somebody, I think, who would show promise through our social media first. Somebody who would be able to take on that sort of position and would feel naturally, drawn to that. I think for right now, that's not necessarily Eternia's biggest goal. It is certainly something that we are looking at and we're wanting to achieve as quickly as possible, but we have a lot that we are building as far as momentum right now. When one of our sides is a little bit lacking, we still have plenty of other to make up the slack there. And the direction that we've been pushing in a lot has been actually in our industry and in our local development. So as we continue to make strides in that, we hope that it will help to fill in the gaps in our media side and in trying to actually make a lot of these things run and develop like we want to. The House of Others is a big thing as well for starting to try and continue support for a lot of the programs that we've developed. Our micronational map, our alliances, our sovereignty licenses, things like that, having regular meetups and online gatherings for our citizens of our community. All of that is very, very tough when you look at the day-to-day aspects of sort of trying to put that stuff out. So as we continue to do that and as we continue to move forward, we want to find somebody who can start to fill in those shoes, and that'll let us ultimately make a better community for you guys, something that, you know, is a lot quicker to respond, a lot quicker to move forward with things for you all, so that way you can get back to the larger plans that you have. If Aeternia somehow plays a role in that, if we can somehow offer assistance, we want to be able to offer that speedy, and we want to be able to do that in a way that really legitimately helps you when you need it. So that all comes with manpower, that all comes with time, and it all comes with money, which fortunately we are now starting to get just a little bit more of. So we're not there yet, we're not over the hill quite yet, but we can see the sunshine over the horizon, and we are certainly only a few more steps away. Real quick, I'm going to read some comments from everybody. Matt says, very fair. Casey says, LOL, I recommend Raycon earbuds. They've been sponsoring some bigger creators lately, i.e. Chelsea Lynn, etc., but you never know. That's true. Matt says, what's your opinion on hydroelectrics? Hydroelectric energy? Have you seen that we made a little hydroelectric energy system? If you haven't, check out our shorts, because that's a big thing that we did recently. Was we have created a hydroelectric system. We actually, I can kind of show it off a little bit, have a version that's being upgraded at the moment. Give me just 1 second.
No, stay right there.
I got it.
You talk to your people.
But it's going to be hard to like grab and do. I just got to turn the camera in general. It's like on wires though. You got to bring it the other way. Okay. So we're trying to get it set up to show you guys. But we actually do have a hydroelectric power system. Right now it's getting an upgrade a little bit, so I'm going to put out a full video on it once that upgrade goes through. I wanted to give you guys an initial introduction, so I did the little short, but I really wanted to have it workable and just something that we are actively gaining a lot of benefit from before I went ahead and unveiled the big project. So in that, we are actually going to be able to generate a good bit of our own electrical power. Now, not enough to run our house, not enough to run even our arc furnace quite yet, but it is a big, big stepping stone toward that. We're going to be able to start powering 18650 lithium ion cells with this guy right here, and that will allow us to, as you can see in that box, there's like a whole bunch of big capacitors and stuff, and in fact a battery hooked up right there, an 18650 cell. Those are the same cells that are used in Tesla cars. Those are the same cells that are used in power walls, things like that. Most types of DIY off-grid power supplies use 18650 cells, and that is what we are going to be basing our standard on. So these things pack a big punch and a lot of power. Now that we have something that's going to be able to run at the proper voltage for that, and it's something that's very small as well, so something that we're going to be using to actually collect rainwater, and eventually stepping up from there to setting up in hopefully little streams and stuff. But doing all of that is going to allow us to start collecting some of our own power and making the industries of Aeternia, like our metal melting, something that is 100% truly eco-friendly, something that even the thank you, Tiff. I appreciate it. Even the electricity that we use will be something that we're not having to get from the power grid. You know, so in a lot of metallurgy, metal melting, there are uses of gases, use of other combustible materials that create a lot of CO2, that create a lot of methane, and that now we can do instead in a way that the industries, in large part, have actually started to follow suit on, which is doing it all electric. That's something that, still requiring large amounts of power is normally pulled from the traditional power grid, which a lot of time uses coal power, things like that, steam turbines for coal power, that we will now actually be able to start using and running off of this hydroelectric power and eventually solar power. Multiple things. Casey says, you're really smartly detailed with this. LOL, it's fascinating. Thank you very much. And if you are interested, you should join the Empire of Aeternia. We're doing stuff. We're making moves. We're getting bigger every day. We're going to prove that we could do it anyway, and we're going to show them we're the best. Hey, Homegrown Gamer Kid says, I can't sleep. Well, we're glad you're here, Onyx. It means a lot. South North says, thank you, Aeternia, and Ad Victoriam Empress and Emperor. Have a nice New Year's from Saldnor. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. Homegrown Gamer Kid said hash 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 hash. My mental health being bad. Oh goodness. Be careful, Onyx. I hope you're okay, and I hope you're doing well tonight. And I also hope you have a very, very happy New Year. The New Year is always a time to start things off on a fresh foot and to feel like there is hope on the horizon. So we certainly have been fortunate enough to have a good bit of hope, and we hope to spread that to you. So I wish you the very best New Year, and I'm excited to see what's in store for you. Casey says, that's really great. The Hydra, of course. Thank you so much. Again, we are trying to push forward with everything we can. Eternia is a technological nation. We believe that the way to achieve a better standard of living for humanity, a way to remove people from living paycheck to paycheck, the way to help create large-scale change economically, not only for the poorest in society, but even for the richest, we want to be able to move all of our society forward. We want to move all of our people and their quality of life forward through advancing technology, through spending money on education, through making sure that we have really efficient and environmentally friendly systems that can work to produce a net benefit for all of us. And to do that in a way that's automated, in a way that's simple, in a way that doesn't require too much of the taxpayer, the people who are supporting Eternia, or to our infrastructure, to make sure we have a lot of backup plans and a lot of support. So we're doing everything we can, one day at a time, and I have people like Tiffany here to thank for that. She's actively cutting away at these notes. She went to grab our hydroelectric system earlier that I would have been tripping over the cameras trying to grab, and I want to make sure that nobody forgets that there are a lot more people behind the scenes than me who are making this happen. One of whom being Tiffany, who I appreciate very, very much. A lot of people don't know too much about Tiffany, but in short, she is not somebody who is interested in micronationalism inherently. She's not somebody who joined Eternia as a previous micronationalist. She is somebody who supported me as her boyfriend in this endeavor that I had been starting before we were in a relationship. So every day that Tiffany has been able to help, every day that we have been moving forward, has felt, I have felt so grateful for her and for what we've been building. A lot of it thanks to her. So I want to put it on record that there is anything good that comes out of Eternia is probably Tiffany. Anything bad that ever comes out of is all me. So that's how we're gonna label that. Any faults are my fault 100%. I take full responsibility. Anytime there is goodness and credit to be given, I'm throwing it Tiffany's way. Let me go ahead and grab the ribbon. Red bin. Can do. Give me just 1 second, guys. Let me hop over. Also, 6 viewers. Thank you guys for hanging out with us at 2 a.m. here. 6 viewers hanging out. And you guys know we're trying to stack up just a few more watch time hours, so it means a lot. Every little bit helps us to push us closer and closer to that goal. And yeah, I hope you guys are hanging out. I hope you guys are jamming to your favorite music, doing whatever it is that you enjoy doing, and helping us to make our country bigger and better. Matt says, alrighty, I think I'm going to head to sleep now. This was a great live stream. It's 3 a.m. Good night, Eternia. Hey, good night, Matt. We will see you soon, and Eternia forever. Thank you for being a citizen and an awesome supporter of ours. Republic of South North says, BTW Ad Victoria means to victory. Very cool. South North says, night, I will join the Discord as well. Hey, thank you very much. That helps a lot. South North says, and I will make a video talking about different micronations. I will include you guys. Hey, thank you. That would be awesome. Yeah, if you can hype us up and tell people about us, that means the world. Thank you. Aiden says, I will be taking everyone's video suggestions here. Hey, very cool. I suggest checking out our entire micronational economics. If you're interested in learning how to develop a micronation and the business behind that, the economic aspects behind that, financial aspects, that has been something that I've worked on quite a bit. That was probably the toughest part of developing Eternia thus far, and I think it has helped a number of people. I've taken a lot of advice on developing that series, so it means a lot every time you guys check it out. Ooh, Casey says 3 a.m. East Coast time. Killing it, Casey. Thank you for staying up with us. Max says it's 12. I will sleep now. Absolutely. Have a good night, Max. Max said great stream. Thank you. Appreciate the like and support. Homegrown says I still resting. Yeah, it's 3 a.m. I can't sleep. I believe in you, Onyx. You probably do need some rest though to enjoy your New Year's Day. So what's up? Oh, that's true. New Year's Eve and also your New Year's Day tomorrow. But yeah, I appreciate you hanging out with us as long as you do. Max says great stream. Aiden says I'll definitely watch the series. Thank you very much, Aiden. That means a lot. And as well, if there's any other things that you feel like you enjoy or appreciate about our channel or about series that we've done in the past, please let us know. Because a lot of the time I want to do continuations on series, but there's so much new stuff that piles up and so much old stuff that I want to talk about that a lot of stuff gets skipped over, like I said, in our history. So if there's something that you really want to see and you feel like, oh, they did it once, they talked about it once, but they haven't brought anything up again about it, please let me know. You know, we've talked about alliances before. We've talked about, gaining like states and territories in a micronation. We've talked about purchasing land. We've talked about all these different things, creating currencies, stuff like that, flags, naming your nation. If you have any particular ideas of things you'd prefer to see, let us know, and we will definitely consider it. Ooh, Casey said 20 hours and 58 minutes until 2022. You know it, Casey. Bring in the new year. Casey, what are your New Year's plans? What are your big hopes for the new year? Are there any New Year's resolutions you guys have?
He's gonna be a vigilante with the mutant ninja turtle.
I love it. Tiffany said Casey's gonna be a Ninja Turtle. Is that the guy's name off of?
With the yeah.
He's the
dude that wears the hockey mask.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
Casey.
Are you Casey from the Ninja Turtles, Casey? Homegirl Gamer Kid says maybe, and my flippin' head hurts. Aiden says, and when it's New Year's, we will stay awake until 1 a.m. You know it. I'm sorry that your head is hurting. Onyx, that sucks. I hope you feel better, man. That's not good. And especially it sucks when you.
We're just helping to prepare them to stay up in the new year.
That is true. We are hyping you guys up for the big New Year party. And again, I am gonna start finally writing Sarah's letter. We're not gonna end the stream until I can actually do the little seal part of it. I have to do a Unity medal and as well the creation of another medal, but I'm not gonna do those tonight simply because I am missing pieces. We actually have sold so much that we have to go out and purchase some more items, some stuff that I didn't know we didn't have. So I'm gonna have to go out and grab that in the morning before I can go out and send their stuff. Again, one of these going to the UK, which is crazy that we're going to have a package going all the way across the Atlantic, across the pond, as they say, to the UK. That's amazing. And so, real quick, I am going to create Sarah's letter. I'm saying, Sarah, thank you so much for your purchase of 15 Imperial notes and a Unity medal. Your support of our economy through your purchase of notes places you at what is her rank? Let's see. Sarah is at 15 notes. Sarah is at number 7.
Let me
Ooh.
see. Let me see.
Which pushes somebody down.
Okay, because
She's
you
at
already
number
put David
7.
in.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, 7.
Notes places you at the station
Is this
of
the one who's
7th.
number 8? That's the same person who ordered the Unity medal?
Yes. 7th Aristocrat, which you can view on the
Website.
home page of our website. In addition, your support of our Unity medal provides inspiration for ourselves and the rest of the micronational community. Provides inspiration for ourselves and the rest of the micronational community, knowing we have you as an ally in our cause. Every day, our nation makes history on its way to self-determination.
Every time you have to read, you write. You sound like a 3rd grader learning to read for the first time. And the horse went to the...
Y'all hear Tiff making fun of me? Y'all hear this? Y'all hear her memeing? Keep going, Tiff. No, roast me. This is roast the emperor time right here. You're going to jail, Tiff. You're done. Prison.
Okay. Cut all these notes by yourself then.
She said you lost your whole workforce. You ain't emperor or nothing. Look out. Goodness. I appreciate it, Tiff. That was a good comeback. Tiff roast me. There's freedom of speech out here. She got me. Ball. I have the mic and you dropped the mic somehow. I don't know how that happened. Good.
I'm sure they were thinking the same thing. I
Well,
said it because I'm here.
I'm trying to write and think of the same. I'm trying to be inspirational. I'm trying to write, from my heart to this person who donated to help our country.
Inspirational insight goes.
The
like a top.
cow moves west along. Yeah.
The waters. Okay. Like, those aren't that big of words, but we're going to stop this.
Row your boat. That's me out here. Every day our nation makes history on its way to self-determination. And you have...
I'm never going to unhear it.
laid the groundwork for our next step.
And don't forget, check out the live stream that we wrote your letter on for a good roasting and a good laugh.
Absolutely. I hope you don't mind. I wrote your letter aloud on on a live stream.
Like a toddler.
And Tiffany, my friend,
Oh.
made
Oh, okay.
fun of
Yeah.
me as I did.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's see now look at you. Every time I like
We
meet new people, you
Appreciate.
called me your friend. And you get upset.
I
You
said,
just
I
did
hope
the
you don't
same
mind.
thing.
I wrote your letter aloud on a live stream, and Tiffany, comma, my girlfriend.
That's not what you
Tiffany,
read.
my platonic friend that I don't have any feelings for. Good. I'm not that savage, Tiff. I'm not that cold-hearted.
Oh my god.
We
I was about to
appreciate
be
you.
like, right.
No.
We just
We
love together
appreciate
because
you.
it's the greatest friendship ever.
I'm sorry. We appreciate you and your efforts toward making this world a better place. Be yourself always and have an
Happy New Year! Interesting? Was that what that one was?
year. Absolutely roasting me. Tiff absolutely bodying me. Okay, here's what I said. Sarah, thank you so much for your purchase of 15 Imperial Notes and a Unity Medal. Your support of our economy through your purchase of notes places you at the station of 7th Aristocrat, which you can view on the homepage of our website. In addition, your support of our Unity Medal provides inspiration for ourselves and the rest of the micronational community, knowing we have you as an ally in our cause. Every day our nation makes history on its way to self-determination, and you have laid the groundwork for our next step. I hope you don't mind, but I wrote your letter aloud on a live stream, and Tiffany, my girlfriend, made fun of me as I did. We appreciate you and your efforts toward making this world a better place. Be yourself always, and have an adventurous new year. Emperor AP. So, now that I have written to Sarah, I want to go ahead and do the official seal, which is a big part of our culture, a big part of officiating things, and as well giving Sarah the 15 notes that she went ahead and purchased, which is a great help toward our economy. So, while we do that, I am going to continue to talk to you guys and see what you're up to. Casey says, LOL, no, I'm a high school student, fascinated about micronations. Very cool. Yeah. So tell me more. Are
So
you...
you can't be a vigilante too?
You can absolutely be a vigilante, Casey. I believe in you. You can fight with the Ninja Turtles and against them. You can be a double agent. Also, consider joining the Empire of Aeternia. We have a citizenship application, and all you have to do is either provide $1 a month citizenship tax if you didn't want to do anything at all or be participatory other than that. But if you did want to be participatory and help out, then you don't even need to pay the tax. You just have to show that you're creating inherent value in our society by regular participation. So yeah, those...
Hardly ever talks normal for these things.
I never talk normal for these things. Because an emperor is more entertaining if they're singing, even if they're not particularly great at it. But they're confident in themselves. Be yourself. Also, we have 4 viewers. Caden Republic said, what did I miss? We got a donation of $400 to the... Everything. That's true. We talked about our hydroelectric system. We showed off that. We showed off the literal 200 notes that we're actively putting together. We have a stack already. We have probably like a 30-40 stack of them right now. 24, Tiff said. We're getting up there. We're making medals. We're doing a lot of stuff. You missed everything. Again, David became the new first aristocrat, doubling the amount of money that had originally been in that position, which was $100 by Richard Taylor, now being surpassed by David as he claims the number one aristocrat spot. This is crazy for us. Again, this is a huge moment for the Empire. And real quick, I want to go ahead and set up our wax seal and get that started. If you guys haven't seen this process before, if you guys haven't seen our original wax seal video where we did some stuff, or even I think in our Stemeria video recently we did receiving a care package from Stemeria, we also did some wax seal signing. So that being the case, I'm excited to do it once again with you all. I'm going to be kind of moving stuff to the side here to start preparing for that, and we will go ahead with the festivities and with doing everything a little bit more officially for this purpose. Let's see. Let me just kind of sweep everything to the side here so that way we can get started with everything we need. Mooney bad Booney. Thank you, Tiff. That means a lot. Tiff's helping to light the candle that we need. The flame of Aeternia. Yeah. The flame of our nation.
Do it again.
The cause of a million.
Yeah, you gotta keep the silly voice.
I gotta keep the silly voice the entire time.
Why?
This is how people talked in the 1920s for some reason.
Oh, boy.
Nobody really talked like that though. It was just all a fake lie. As opposed to a real lie, I guess. Casey said, put some heat on it, Onyx. Yeah, absolutely, Onyx. Take care of yourself, for real. This is important. Onyx said, I can't think straight. Sincerely, take care of yourself, Onyx. Like, if you need to leave the live stream, do what you gotta do. Take care of yourself. Aiden said, also, Eternia, I will get a prop retro microphone tomorrow. Hey, congratulations. Also, thank you for sending it as a comment, Aiden. Aiden says, if you see a comment that is trying to send a link, it's a scam. Thank you. Caden says, I'm no longer president of the Caden Republic. Ooh, what happened? And also, are you going to still keep that same YouTube channel name then? That's interesting. Casey says, I have a micronation already, but I would definitely join if I could. I understand. That's a whole thing. There's a whole thing that happens. And Casey also said, ooh, Kitty. Yep, that is Moondust, our homie boy. He is the protector of the nation. You know him. Garden every day, like a rough boy. Homegrown says, I can't think straight. Help. Goodness. Utrean Empire says hi, and Republic of Testonia says hi. It's good to see you guys. If you haven't liked the stream yet, please do. It helps us a lot. And if you guys didn't know, again, the title wasn't clickbait at all. We legitimately got a $400 donation to the Empire of Aeternia. Aeternia has a new first aristocrat in David the Blacksmith, our newest citizen. We did an interview with him not too long ago about that and about that position. As being Aeternia's blacksmith and being trained for that. As of right now, he's sort of an apprentice blacksmith for us, but will eventually be getting into his own full-fledged position as a blacksmith and receiving the coveted blacksmith's ring. So we are going to be doing a lot with that in the near future with David, but he has absolutely made a large mark on us here, being again our new first aristocrat. This is a huge deal for us. This is something that we have waited on for a long time to be able to start getting large-scale investments like this, and I think what we have been doing has been absolutely paying off in that sense. So I'm going to go ahead and get the camera focused here for everybody to kind of see what we're going to be doing, and we will continue. Casey says, yeah, Kitty is the military. No, Aeternia doesn't have any military, but that's true. I did say Uno was building nuclear weapons for the Chinese government at one point, which was an interesting video in and of itself. You guys should go check that out. That was It was like last year.
November or like December before the new year.
Yep, that was Cat Detective was the name of that video, or part of the name of that video.
You'll see like a weird cat in a cloak with AP's face in the middle of the screen.
That is correct. Also, for streaming at 2:30 a.m., we sure do have 6 whole viewers. Thank you guys for hanging out with us and participating in the stream. One of the things, you'll see our wax is immediately melting almost. I want to kind of turn this for you guys so you can see it a little bit better. But yeah, our wax is melting very quick. Kingdom of Judonia says hello. It's good to see you. Aiden says, but if I do, it'll probably be most used for defending the nation. I get that. I think a lot of micronations put a lot of time and attention to militaries simply because they like them, but they don't if you're actually trying to create a country.
The whole like, all the other nations have militaries, therefore they should be part of it.
That's true. That's true. Tiffany has a good thing as well. She's like, because people think about militaries as being an inherent part of being a nation, a lot of the time people just use that as a checklist item to kind of say, oh, well, now I'm a nation too because I have the thing that other nations have. For micronations, the story is different. And, developing time and money to put into a military that you won't be able to exercise and use anyway is going to be just a huge money sink and a time-wasting device. So.
Point of learning to protect your stuff, but if you don't even get it built up to have something to protect,
then it's not worth it. Absolutely. It's not worth it to try and build something up like that you're not able to use in the first place. And as well, on top of that, for most micronational affairs and things like that, you can have your own like home defense or whatever, or self-defense, but you don't need a military for all that. That's way overkill and could potentially even cause you more harm than good in the long run.
Remember the people who started America literally just left in a boat.
Yep. Absolutely.
And then after a while, definitely tormented the native people here. And white people, well, one of the native people is white people, but that's.
Yeah. I agree. Kingdom of Judonia says, hello, I'm here. It's good to see you, Judonia. Thank you for hanging out. Right now we are doing our wax melting ceremony and our imperial seal ceremony. We're doing that so that we can sign a letter that is going to be going to Sarah, who has now become our 7th aristocrat. So we have actually 2 changes in the aristocrat board today. One to move Richard Taylor to 2nd aristocrat, whereas David the blacksmith will now become the 1st aristocrat in the Empire of Aeternia, and having Sarah take the place of Mason as the 7th place in the aristocrat board, moving Mason Kodad down to 8th, I believe. So this is, again, an incredibly exciting moment for us. We have. That is true. And also moving Cole down to 9. Thank you very much, Tiff. That is true. We have people moving on the aristocrat board. Like, everybody just moved down a notch because of David. And then on top of that, everybody below 7th place also moved down a notch. We are, in fact, now I believe we should have 10 different spots. Tiffany corrected me. I think she's right. We should have 9 different spots right now that are actively taken up. Yep. That's true. But you could technically do it if you had a imperial imperial bonds thing on the Patreon.
Yeah, if you want to be a Patreon, you could get one note.
That is true. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and focus the camera onto our little spot here, and then we are gonna go ahead and do the pouring and the actual stamping. Let's see here. Let's get that thing as focused as we can. I'm gonna actually try and move the camera a little bit to get a better view of this pour. I know you guys like the aesthetic. I know you're here for that aesthetic. Please like and comment for the aesthetic. Oh goodness. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna just move this whole thing closer a little bit. Kind of have that angle adjusted there. Okay. And so we should be good. I hope you guys can see pretty well. I think it looks pretty nice on camera there. We're going to go ahead and take our wax and pour it. The seal of the Empire of Aeternia, a great mark of our nation, defining a great moment in our history. As you can see, I have covered my signature, and I am now going to attempt not to do the seal backwards. I'm probably going to rewrite AP because I literally wrote straight over it. I put the too much wax and I put it straight on top of there. So we're going to leave that for just a second. Let that sit, and then we're going to do the super aesthetic peel back. Simply Admirable says, may I ask what you're writing? Good day, Simply Admiral. First off, if you don't know, we are the Empire of Aeternia. We're a micronation in the southern United States in Alabama, and we are trying to develop our country. As of right now, we just had somebody who purchased money from our website, purchased imperial notes from the imperial market, making them an aristocrat, somebody who has invested, and particularly one of the top 10 investors in the Aeternian economy, and so we have sent them a proper thank you note. This is also our first aristocrat from the United Kingdom. This is our first ever sale of notes to the United Kingdom, so this is going to be incredibly exciting for us and a monumental moment. As you can see here, our beautiful Aeternian seal right there, absolutely gorgeous. Again, a gift to us from the Master of the House of Treasure, Stephen Vince, current Master of the House of Treasure, and longtime citizen and supporter of the Empire of Aeternia, one of our highest aristocrats as well. So again, I'm going to rewrite Emperor AP, and sloppy a little bit on the AP, but we do have it. There we go. So again, we have a wonderful thank you letter to Sarah, as well as Sarah's 15 notes. Sarah is now the 7th aristocrat, 7th wealthiest person in the Aeternian economy. Again, those aren't all people who are citizens of the Empire of Aeternia, as Sarah is not a citizen and yet is the 7th wealthiest person in the Aeternian economy, with the number 1 wealthiest person now being someone who has 200 notes, 1 note equaling to $1 is how we sell them, and we sell them in 5 note packs. So if you're interested in becoming a part of the Aristocrat board, you can certainly purchase a 5 note pack on our Etsy at the Imperial Market. And so we are actually going to put all of this together and give it a nice seal. And then I'm going to put Sarah's address stuff and all that on there a little bit later. One of the things as well that you're going to be able to see, which should be very exciting for you guys, since I don't think I've ever shown it on the channel before, is we are going to be actually doing a printing of one of the licenses. Again, I have to print David's license because he's going to be coming over in a couple days, and I hadn't gotten to it the last time that we had talked, the last time that we had met up. So we are going to be doing David's, we are going to be making David's citizenship license as well, and kind of talking over that and sort of what that means for the Empire in addition. So we have certainly a lot that we're doing tonight. I would say Santa's elves are busy, but it's past Christmas, and none of us have pointy ears, so we are just trying to fill our orders, trying to do the things that we have needed to in order to support the people supporting us. And we appreciate every single time you guys help us to do that. So I'm picking up all the things for Aeternia's official seal, and I am going to be placing it back in the box to keep it nice and protected. I'm going to blow out our candle to symbolize the end of the seal tradition. Absolutely never ending Aeternia's fire. Aeternia never giving up and always pursuing the future. But for now, we will be absolutely. The flame of Aeternia will never die out, but this ceremony does end with the extinguishing of a flame. However, this isn't the end of the stream. Like I said, we have a number of things to do left. Again, trying to prep and expand our economy and our nation with David's new investment in our countries. Thank you again, David. Thank you everybody who's watching and hanging out in our nation. Ooh, I got Tiff's hand. Ooh, Tiff's showing off one of our squishies. We have, I don't want to get it all dirty, but we do have. We have a super squishy squishy. If you guys haven't checked out, we have Aeternian unique squishies that are also sold on our Etsy. They're fun, and they can be used as little balls, a little stretcher lever. They're pretty cool. Pretty cool. Ooh, very good. Some person said, nice. Hey, thank you, some person. Definitely make sure to like. Again, I haven't seen some person in the chat before, so it's good to have you. I'm going to help Tiff with these notes if I can. Try and give her a little bit of support here in what she's doing. Simply Admirable said, cool, thank you very much. Aiden says, I started on June in 2021. Republic of Testonia says, my micronation is only 1 day old, but if you consider Spaghettia, then 9 days. Interesting. Spaghettia, yeah. That's apparently what they call themselves. Potentially. Is your main dish spaghetti? Well, now they're Republic of Testonia, so maybe their main dish is testosterone. Simply Admiral says mine is around 2 weeks old. It's about 1 acre big. Congratulations. Republic of Testonia says mine is over 2 acres. Very cool. Aiden says 3 houses, 1 apartment big. Very cool. I'm glad everybody has their own unique thing as well. Testonia says my territory is my school because I didn't have any other territory. Very cool. Simply Admirable says cool. Aiden says, hey Aeternia, I'm interested on stamps. Republic of Testonia says stamps. What do you mean? Aiden? Are you like creating your own stamps? Because that's cool. You can certainly offer them as, you know, a symbolic gesture to your citizens, but the stamps won't actually be able to be used most of the time by you know, international postage carriers and things like that. It would be cool if they allowed you to make your own custom stamps. And I think at one point the U.S. Post Office might have had the ability to do that, to allow you to make your own custom stamps. But they certainly do not anymore, which is super sad because I would totally make a bunch of Aeternian USPS stamps. If we ever got big enough, I would love to partner with the USPS and do Aeternian stamps, just because I want the clout, I want the hype. But even still right now, we are able to do a lot with what we have. And so we're not particularly focused on stamps, but if stamps are your thing, I would love to see cool designs for them. Although, again, for us, not super practical because you can't really use them to mail letters, which sucks. Like that's the whole hypeness about the stamps. Also, the Caden Republic, it's good to see you. Casey says, my nation has a Google Doc and 3 citizens. Hey, that's how it starts, though. That's how everything starts popping off. So we believe in you, Casey. I'm going to stand my camera up a little bit. Trying to set everything in place here with it. And then see if I can't angle down again and start recording some of the stuff that we are doing for the Empire, for our great nation and its expansion and development. I'm going to see if I can't refocus just a little bit on the table there. And keep talking to you guys. Also, thank you so much for 7 viewers, guys. We have 7 viewers actively participating in the stream. And while we do have these 7 viewers, I think I am going to go ahead and sit down and start talking to everybody on stream, making sure everybody can hear me and stuff. Real quick, I do want to expand the chat a little bit, see if I can't make that bigger. Can I actually make the chat just bigger, like physically make it bigger? It's really not doing it super hard. I don't know why. I can make it, I can refresh it, I can make the like thing larger, but it's not actually showing the words too much more clearly. But that being the case, I'm still going to go ahead and start cutting some notes. I hope everybody's nation is doing well. I see a number of people talking about their nations. Let me ask you this. What is it about micronationalism that took your interest? We were talking today, we actually had a previous live stream, if you want to go and check that out, with the King of Arcovia, King Carminate, who actually we've been partnering with and developing some projects with out of Mississippi. And we had him as a guest today talking about micronationalism as political movements and talking about what it means to have a political movement and to really be trying to develop something that is about its own self-determination, something that says it's a country and needs others to recognize it as such. What drove you to that? Why are you trying to create a country as opposed to a political party, as opposed to, a business or something else? Why is it a country that you're trying to develop? And if you're not trying to develop a country, but you do consider yourself a micronation, why is that the term that you use? I'm very curious to know. Of course, there are always realist versus fantasy. That's the whole thing we've talked about. But for those who consider themselves trying to gain independence, why are you doing that? And again, that was one of the biggest things that King Carminate and I talked about, was kind of the reasons that micronations decide to become micronations and decide that they're going to develop. But in addition, a lot of it ends up being about what an individual's sort of morals are in that. Ooh, just having trouble getting the stuff off because it's really hard. It's like super glue every time. Are we making a new ball? Do we have a new one to make?
We talked about
Oh,
that.
yeah, we do. We do have a new one to make. Goodness, got to get a big pair of vice grips to get this thing. Goodness. Give me 1 second. Once I finish these notes, I'll go and grab the big pair of pliers.
You're not going to finish those notes.
Yeah, well,
Not all of them.
not all of them. This page. I'm gonna cut them all at once. We'll super chop it. But yeah, we have a huge like wrench that we have to pry the lid off of this container with, which is very, very difficult. You guys will actually be able to see us create a squishy as well. You'll be able to see a cool like squishy growing in there. That'll be something to show off. As well, if you guys like this stream, please like it. Please share. Please tell everybody that Aeternia is creating a country, and you can watch them do it live on YouTube. Again, today we were talking about what it means to be a micronation and why people develop their nations if they consider themselves serious. And a lot of the time that can be for like really strong political ideological purposes. I don't think I met a micronation that doesn't have some like reason or idea that they say, we should be a nation because we're going to make the world better in this way. The world's the nation that I come from, whatever it is lacking in these specific areas, and this is what I want to improve. So every time I run into a micronationalist, that's basically what I ask them. If you support another nation or if you are yourself running a micronation, why is it that you're doing so? What is it that attracted you about the concept of creating a nation? Let me see if I can cut these notes. Of course, if I goof notes, then that is, a detriment to our economy. Of course, we have to throw those away. And accidents happen, so it's not anything that we can't fix or anything that's not worth it to certainly make the notes. But at the same time, the emperor can't be goofing on their own money. You know what I mean? We have to be trying to make this economy efficient. I can't be, as the leading example, messing up our own printing process and our own currency development. So you guys got to encourage me to get these lines straight, to do a really bang-up job on this currency development process. And I feel like this stream in particular, it sucks that the stream is happening like in the middle of the night, but everybody who is a super loyal like viewer of the Empire of Aeternia, people who really like watching us and hanging out and just kind of wait for these live streams to happen, are in for a special treat with this because, are you okay, Tiff? Do you need some help? Hold on, guys, 1 second. Let me go help Tiff. You good? Okay. Thank you, Tiff. I appreciate it. Yeah, so, everybody who supports the streams, everybody who helps to make this happen, now gets all of kind of their stream wishes come true. You know, we're having this big event where we had somebody just, you know, absolutely change the economic situation of Eternia. But in general as well, there's also a lot of other things that I've wanted to show off on the channel before that I've never gotten the opportunity to until now. So you're getting to see how we develop our currency. You're getting to see how we develop the squishies. You're getting to see all the different aspects of what we do that we've shown off. You know, the hydroelectric system. All these things that we've shown bits and pieces of through little shorts or through, you know, brief talks in a live stream. But now we're really going through it. And hopefully soon we can come out with full-fledged videos each on those topics. What'd I put what? The cool kid scissors? You don't get them. Let me make sure I'm doing this the right way.
Only the sides are crazy everywhere in the between.
Yep. Whoop. Hey. Oh, the laundry? Yeah, I need to get the laundry. Okay. I will be proceeding to the laundry room very quickly, everybody, so that I can help Tiff. I had put in laundry literally hours ago, and the first time it didn't dry fully. Sorry? Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that actually happened while I was melting metal. You guys, whenever I poured this piece of metal, Tiffany was just saying she walked outside and she saw that the crucible was broken. That's the cost sometimes of making these little pieces of aluminum and the pieces of copper especially that we do. They just take a beating on our crucibles. So we did develop a nice new little piece of purified aluminum for Eternia. It's another piece that goes toward our treasury, goes toward helping us to develop our national wealth and the assets that we have. But in general, those crucibles do take a beating from the experience we put them through. But that's not the only. That's one small downside to a system that gives us many, many benefits. Let me see. Yeah. Ooh, Tiff did it. She got it. Yeah. Engineer. I saw it like pop off.
I twisted it off.
That was really cool. I just saw it like pop up, like releasing the pressure. It was just cool to watch. Yeah. And slice. And dice. And thrice. And lice. Hopefully no one has lice. Hey, that is true. Everyone please make sure to, again, we're going to keep plugging it, like and subscribe as well if you want to join our Patreon to support us or help us toward our land purchase. This is a great way to do so. And again, our Etsy shop, as always, we are providing 100% handmade Eternian items. They aren't things that are developed somewhere else. We're not doing drop shipping or anything. We are legitimately making products that represent our culture and who we are as a people. And representing people like David who have invested in us so much, and representing people like Steven who have invested in us and made things like our flag possible, things like the wax seal that we have possible. So all of the people who have helped us to build along the way. Casey says, thought about creating a country that is basically a for-profit base of system, kind of like the American left, but not as strict. I'm curious to see what you mean, Casey. Ooh, Rich said, congrats on 400, and here's to many more. Agreed. Eternia forever, Rich. Thank you so much for supporting us. Simply Admiral says, I was inspired by all these other micronations. I had one war already to get land, and I had to use airsoft guns. I've always wanted to make a country. The flag got the hammer and sickle. Very cool. So, communist micronation, or at least communist symbolism in your micronation. Or at least socialist, I guess, to some degree. But as well, you are specifically doing things with like micronational war. That is concerning, I guess, the micronational war stuff. But
What are you doing?
good luck. Also, ooh, Mooney. Ooh, you guys see Mooney in the background? That little kitty cat boy. He's always here. Um, Republic of Testonia says, ooh, um, Simply Admiral says, I'm developing an army since I got 3 more joining tomorrow. Congratulations, but also don't make armies. This is just not a good thing. Aiden says, also, Eternia, thoughts about the 2022 bird flu outbreak? Ooh, you'll have to tell me more about that, especially since it's not 2022 yet. Like, at least for us. So this is a curious case of confusion here. Testonia says, I'm creating a country because one day I thought, can I create a country? And I went on YouTube and was like, wow, I can make a micronation. And then after months of research, then I made a micronation. That's fair. Have you looked into our video, why not to create a micronation? We talk about that you should join a micronation instead because a lot of micronations are made under very similar ideals. So a lot of the time people creating micronations that are so similar can actually cause an issue where they are pulling resources away from one another and making it harder for any micronation within their kind of sphere to grow. But Casey then asks that, Simply Admiral says, I'm using drones and firecrackers to make a nuclear weapons program. That's funny, but also don't do it. Just don't hurt people. It's not good. Casey, I'm.
I thought he said he wasn't even no, he's the evil person. He's
Not Casey. This is a different person. Yeah, a different person. Tiffany's getting the chat mixed. I got you, chat. Don't worry. Let me see. Aiden says nuclear weapons is pretty self-explanatory. Absolutely. That isn't actually nuclear weapons. Agreed. Simply Admiral says I do its fireworks and firecrackers. It's getting a ton of fireworks coming in. Yeah, agreed. Like it's just not that, but I get you. Casey says I mean to basically have a self-thriving country and all the money made goes right back into the country with maybe 5 to 7.5% of the profit going to the founders.
Don't be putting down fireworks, people. Multiple people died for making fireworks because if the chemicals mix too soon, you can cause a huge explosion and the whole company just died.
Oh, absolutely. I was saying that it's bad to just buy fireworks for the purpose of using against people as a weapon. I think that's legitimately a problem and you shouldn't do that. Agreed. It is a crime.
Ready?
Ready.
I'm gonna draw this in and then I need you to get ready on the tape.
So Casey, to answer your question about a for-profit micronation, I feel like morally, in my opinion, that's wrong. Simply because, you should 100% be able to earn money from a micronation. If you truly are developing an independent country, if you are dedicating your entire life to that, hopefully you will be able to afford to make a living from that, and to survive off of that, if that's what you're putting your life's work toward. However, I feel as though you shouldn't be the purpose of developing a micronation should not be to profit the founders of it. You should not be developing a micronation for profit. That doesn't mean you can't have for-profit companies in your micronation. Doesn't mean your micronation can't even have industries, entire things that are controlled by the government, which in and of themselves are for-profit. What I'm saying is you should not make your leadership, the people in your government, have their roles based around profit and having a percentage stake in the value of the government, because the purpose of the government, at least in Eternia's opinion, is to provide social benefit to people. We as the Empire of Aeternia and the government of Eternia are trying to improve the quality of life of all Eternians. The way that we are doing that is developing our economy and our industries such that we can start to provide places to live for people, so that we can start to provide housing and job opportunities for people on a small scale and continue to grow that. Now, of course, you can do that as, say, a for-profit company, but the difference between a for-profit company and something like a government is that a government is actually tasked with the responsibility, or at least morally has the obligation, to specifically try to provide the best life it can for its people. But if you have the leaders of a government acting more like the CEOs of a business, they may look at what's best for their profit margins over what is best for the actual well-being of the people involved. It is not economically profitable to provide free health care to people, for example. But it is something that should be a right. It is something that, if there is a modern standard for how medicine is practiced and that you have the ability to save somebody's life, but you choose whether or not you will do so based solely on how much money is in their checking account, how much they can afford to pay you to survive, is immoral. And that's something that is a big problem in the system that we see and that we've grown up in and lived in. So that's why we, as the Empire of Aeternia, are trying to push toward creating more benefit for our people and trying to be a government that legitimately supports and promotes its people first. Having a for-profit nation is counterproductive to what a government is supposed to do for its people. And I think you will find a lot of difficulty and potentially a lot of people feeling cheated by your nation if you have founders and leadership who are specifically seeking profit over the benefit of those people. I'm ready. I zoomed in on it a little bit, but let me see if I can't move this thing a little bit closer. Aim down. Oh no, the battery's gonna die. Okay, do it. Do it.
You gotta be over here.
Okay, I gotta be over there. Yeah, I gotta help.
Multiple systems.
We have a system. We have a system that we do.
Okay.
Sorry if it cuts out in the middle, guys. The battery's dying. I'll have to plug in my webcam. But yeah, let me know what you think about that, Casey. I would be curious to hear your opinion on it. And also, I want to learn more about your idea. Again, it's not that, you specifically are, immoral or there's any problem with floating the idea of that. I just think, that concept clashes with the idea of what a government should be in general. Okay. So I got to get ready with some tape for Tiff. She's mixing up these goopies. I'm prepping for it. I'm ready to go. I'm ripping and roaring. I'm zipping and sticking. I'm zooping and plooping. We're about to get it. Okay. Can you kind of put it lower? Yeah. So we're going to actually tie up the ends right
Don't
here.
squish it too tight.
I'm not squishing
Yes,
too
you
tight.
are. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
You always do this.
I always do that.
You always squish it too tight, and then you bust it where it's open on the sides, and then it leaks out.
It's straight up bussin'.
Not silly. This is your product. We gotta make it nice.
That is true.
Okay, it's slowly increasing. You just had the scissors over there by you.
Yeah, gotcha.
Snap it.
Snap it. Lock it. Put it in your pocket. We did it. We did it, guys.
It is slowly rising inside that bowl.
And now we're just going to watch it till it gets crazy and starts overflowing.
You can even watch it on this little thing right here.
While we're prepping for that, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't switch over to the webcam so that we don't have a situation where it just dies in the middle. You guys will get to see the actual expansion of the foam. Let's show it off.
Oh, there goes. Oh, there
goodness,
goes. Oh no.
It's happening.
Oh,
goodness.
no.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness, it's overflowing. It's overflowing.
It wasn't flat.
Oh no.
No.
That's alright. We tried to salvage as much as we could. It didn't mess up too bad.
And it turned off. This is we finished expanding in there. Now we're gonna wait for it to dry.
Yeah. And now I am about to Activate the webcam. Ooh, here's the webcam. Hey, everybody. We have the big tripod in the way. Move that. Lay this guy down for a second. Let me move the computer a little closer so you guys can see back what we're up to. Yeah.
It is now.
It's now beautiful and complete. It's one solid ball of foam, as you guys can see. Thank you, Tiff.
Even the stick has started foaming up now.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, okay.
It is interesting to see that thing like puff up real fast when it starts going.
Yep. Okay, we're gonna move this into the other room.
Very nice. So while Tiff's doing that, I'm going to continue to cut up our notes. And again, I hope everybody's doing well. Let me look at the chat just a little bit.
Bro!
Ooh.
I told you.
Oh, did it pop down at the bottom?
It's literally lifting the thing up and out.
Oh, dang.
I told you not to be squishing it so hard.
I was trying not to. Yup. Yeah, it kind of bulged out.
Yeah.
Dang.
I've been telling you to quit squishing it so hard.
Yeah, I just want to make it like tight around the edges.
But I'm telling you that you doing that doesn't help.
I get you.
Because then it causes that, and then I can't paint that.
Yeah.
Because if I go and try to fix that, it's just going to be all weird and wonky, and then it won't be a good squishy.
Agree. Tiff's giving me squishy pointers. Aiden says, it has killed almost 5,000 cranes, birds in Israel, also originated in Israel. Oh, goodness, that's horrible. Republic of Testonia says, well, I still want to make a micronation. I'm not making a military. Final decision. Very cool, but I can still join, I think. Nice. Casey says, I wouldn't see a CEO running a country to be good for that reason, just to keep the country going and flowing enough, kind of like what you have with the $1 tax. Like, I was thinking 5% income tax. Like, for instance, if someone makes $30,000 American, tax would be $1,500 towards the nation. I'm not planning on having cities, at least at this time, and that's per year. I'm also interested in making Vistern squishy. Very cool. Congratulations. Testonia says, I'm not going to do anything in the chat for now and watch. Very cool. I appreciate you supporting us, though. It means a lot. Also, I just bumped the webcam, and you guys know what that means. Anytime I very lightly bump this old webcam, it straight up deactivates. So I have to go back into my settings, reactivate the webcam. Sorry about that, guys. But it does lead to interesting little, like, semi-ad break things. That'd be great time for an ad break if we had sponsors. So if you want to be a sponsor of the Empire of Aeternia, that could be your ad break right there. That'd be amazing. A top-of-the-hour ad break. But
No one wants ad breaks.
for now, we're just cutting it up. Oh, the people who are making the sponsorship deals love the ad.
Who want you to advertise them want it, but none of the viewers want it because they're like, ugh.
That's true. Well, we could also do like private streams. That's what I want to do as well. Once we get to a large enough point, people like our aristocrats will start getting videos early. We'll start getting like, you know, private streams and stuff like that where we'll hang out and talk about stuff specifically with people who have supported us that won't have, you know, the ad breaks and stuff. As we continue to grow, we will definitely need advertising to help us continue to grow and manage what we do. But at a certain point, I would really love to be able to grow beyond that and actually provide some additional benefit to those who have provided for us. So hopefully we could make private shows and things like that for those people who want to pay a little bit extra for it and who feel that that's worth that quality time. So we have a good number of notes now. I'm not quite sure on the number yet, but I will have to go back and measure. Timothy's saying like 50. I think that's probably pretty close to accurate.
I had it at 36 when you started.
Yeah,
And
we
honestly,
have.
I think you've only done like 2 pages, so it may not even be at 50 yet.
I was gonna say we
Maybe at
still have a
48.
lot to go.
I hope you didn't mess it up. I had it in a specific side where.
Oh dang. I hope I didn't mess it up either. That was not the intention. Hey, very cool. So, again, guys, please let me know what you guys think of this stream and in general micronationalism and the way that, Aeternia has been trying to play a role in micronationalism. We've done a lot as far as trying to break ground with, new projects and new endeavors for the micronational community, doing things like having the gathering of micronations.
Right. It's 48.
Ooh, Tiff was exactly right. She knows that 6 times 8 math. 8 pages of notes down so far. We are killing it. 8 out of 31 pages.
It was 34, but I cut through the first 3, and we got the 15 out of that. So.
Yeah. We're doing good. We got it. We will print a couple more pages out the back, and we'll make up for it.
Can I show you something? Can I show you something?
Tiff says she's got a method.
Okay, so you want the part that's extended
Right.
to be hanging out that way,
Right.
away from the blade. And then, so it's extended a little bit this way, which means that you want to stay closer to that side, right?
Right.
Clearly, to do the halfway point, place this line at
Like
the
right in
bottom
the
of the
middle.
white line right there.
Yeah.
If you line it up
Gotcha.
and then cut it. So make sure it's lined up with the bottom of the white line. Not the top of it, but the bottom of it. So that you get some length. And then check it. Look at it.
Yeah,
Look how
very
nice that
nice.
is.
Very even. Thank you, Tiff. We got 2 more. Very cool. So we are cutting basically 2 notes at a time, making slow progress toward that 200. Aiden says, Casey says, and that's per year. Aiden says, I'm also interested in making a piston squishy. Casey said it froze. Yeah, again, that was me trying to explain about the whole bumping the webcam thing. Testonia says, I'm not going to do anything for the chat for now and watch. Appreciate it. I will say, talking about the idea of, having a tax on your citizens is a fairly normal thing. Like you said with
50 notes.
Aeternia.
Show off 50 notes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is 50.
Tiff said this is 50 notes. This is a pretty nice stack here. You guys can see. Again, this is a fourth of what David is going to get. This is only 1/4 of the total amount of currency that we have to make for David. This is incredible. This is sincerely like a weighty value. This is something that has a sincere amount of impact for us, and I definitely appreciate that from David. That's a huge amount of trust and support in us. Talking about, like what you said, Casey, on our tax, I think that having a tax of your citizens, as just something that shows kind of loyalty and support, and as well as a way for people to contribute who may not have the time to actively develop projects for your nation, that's fairly standard. That's something that's a fairly normal thing to do, I would say. It's kind of like a subscription service or anything else. But doing things to a larger degree that then allows the people at the top of your nation to make a percentage of the profits from your nation seems like it could get out of control really quickly, because if your nation is only, for example, the GDP of the United States is like several $trillions. If, any one person were to make any percentage, any one single, like even 1% of the GDP of the United States for being, say, the president, then that person would be a trillionaire as well, or maybe even just really close to being a trillionaire, multi-billionaire, 100 billions billionaire, top 0.001% of the world economy. The thing that becomes a problem there is that we already see that in corporate structures and corporate hierarchies, people like CEOs are put in the position that they are specifically so that their entire job is based around growing revenue and growing the profit margins for their company. So they want to do everything they can, bless you, to get their company to make more money and to make that money more efficiently, to make it at a cheaper cost to them. That all being the case, there are a lot of things that CEOs do which are considered immoral by most people, things that it would, you wouldn't do to somebody every day on the street, but that as part of their job, CEOs do all the time. That, again, very morally questionable things, but the way that they base their decisions is because of their job title. They are specifically incentivized and encouraged because of the money that they are, the way that their position is set up is to incentivize them to make the most profit for the company. With regard to the description of your nation, or the concept for that nation, the people in leadership would be incentivized to make the nation as profitable as possible, which sounds in theory like a good idea, but also sounds like a great recipe for cruelty and for abuse of the people who would be producing for that labor, because producing for that profit. Because, for example, the most profitable way for a business to make money or for a country to make money is for their labor source to be as cheap as possible, to have the lowest minimum wage possible. But that does not work for most people. A lot of the time, a livable minimum wage is something that is even significantly higher than what say the U.S. government defines as its minimum wage at $7.25 an hour. That is a laughable minimum wage. That is something that most people cannot survive on today. So that being the case, somebody who is not only, somebody who doesn't even get direct profit from having a low minimum wage is still incentivized to do so simply because of their constituent voting interests and because of the corporate interests who have lobbied for them to be in power. But they're not even incentivized by their own direct gain from that. It's like a secondary gain that they have benefit for, and yet they'll still sell people out with a lower than livable minimum wage. Now, you are saying that you want to put people in charge who would have a direct incentive to lower that minimum wage, to create less rights for workers and for unionization and things like that for those groups who need to be further represented in society. Those people who are creating all of the value. That being the case, it seems very worrying to have a hierarchy set up like that, because it seems like it would lead to a lot of exploitation, and not necessarily exploitation in the Marxist definition or whatever, exploitation in even the capitalist sense of it, exploitation in the sense of just like human rights abuses and things like that, that we see even from a fairly nominal standpoint today. For example, Amazon workers having to pee in water bottles and stuff like that because they can't go to the bathroom because it's more efficient to have them pee on themselves than to, give them a 5-minute break, because people need their Amazon overnight express packages. So it's a big issue. And one of the things I saw you mentioning in the chat, Casey, was like, well, CEOs wouldn't be a good leader. You would have a politician doing that. You would have somebody who would be seasoned in running a nation. You wouldn't put a CEO at the head of a government. I certainly understand that. But at the same time, you might as well, like, if your government is set up almost like a corporate hierarchy where there is a, profit percentage-based interest for that leader to make decisions for the nation, that's pretty much like a CEO. Like that's effectively just having a CEO position but calling it something else. And even if you put a politician in there who isn't, a former CEO or something like that, you still have to have them do like a similar job. They're still trying for the same goals. So I think that's where my larger issue with it is. But I certainly see it as possible. You know what I mean? It's not that that couldn't work as a society. It's just that it seems like it leads to a lot of like systemic inequalities that would be worrisome. Oh, also Republic of Olaf, it's good to see you. Again, if you saw the title of the stream, please like to support us because it's helping a lot. We just received $400 in support from David the Blacksmith. He is now our first aristocrat for the Empire of Aeternia. We are actually cutting his 200 notes that he purchased as jumping up to the top of our economy, to the top of the aristocrat board, doubling the second aristocrat, which is now Richard Taylor, who had previously just broken the record at 100 notes, the largest amount anyone had ever purchased in imperial notes. Now David doubling that number to become the first aristocrat, and we are slowly but surely creating his notes. This is about 50 notes right here. We have, 3/4 left to go. We still have a long way to cut. But as you follow along with us, definitely, let's keep talking about micronationalism and what you guys are interested in with it. It seems like there are a lot of cool ideas floating around. And if I do disagree with an idea or debate an idea, definitely don't think that I'm poo-pooing or shoo-shooing your interest in micronationalism, your interest in developing a country. You should definitely continue to pursue your interest. And I think there are solutions to those things. But I want to point out things that I see immediately as what could be a larger issue down the line. Olav says, Testonia says, hello, Olav. Says, now I'm going to go eat brunch. See you soon. See you, Testonia. Olav says, how are you? We're good. How are you, Olav? Casey says, might as well have a tube running from the toilets to the worker. LOL, exactly. Hyper efficiency. Casey says, it would depend on how much the country took in. So say we took in $1,500,000. The, I guess, leader or president would get 5% of that, which would be $75,000. Yeah, and again, you can pay somebody that as a benefit, but that's the thing that's weird about it is, that's 1.5 million in profit, right? So if it's 1.5 million in profit, that may have been, let's say 2.5 or 3 million in revenue, and then there were losses that were associated with that, with paying workers, with doing things like that, that would then, make that number be only so efficient. So then your president, your leader, whatever, would say, hey, well, everybody who is under me who also gets some percentage of this, especially me who gets the highest percentage of this, we want to make sure that this number is as efficient as possible. So we want to make sure that, because it looks good for our nation as well, to have the highest profit possible. So, if we are producing a revenue of $3 million, but we're only getting $1.5 million out of it, that's only a 50% profit, and that's not good. We can be more efficient than that. So your leader looks for more ways to cut costs, which may be in, for example, healthcare, retirement benefits, housing benefits, things like that your people would have and need to survive and continue to invest in themselves and create a better future for your nation. Something which would, in the short term, hurt profit margins, but in the long term would be much more valuable for their success. So your leader, in looking at the short-term goals of your nation and of its profit margins, would say, hey, this is a great way to make things more efficient, which it is. But it's also a great way to ultimately stifle your country's ability to grow and progress with the rest of the world, because the rest of the world spent time and money putting into things like healthcare and education for its people that it offers for free, even though that causes a decrease in its efficiency and causes a decrease in its profit margins. It creates a significant increase in the life expectancy of those people, in the happiness of those people, and ultimately in the productivity of those people as well. So and creating just ultimately a more efficient future, a more technologically advanced future, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We could talk about this all night, but I keep driving that point home simply to say that like a lot of the reason that people are creating micronations is to get out of a system that they feel like is not helping them. For myself, for example, in the Empire of Aeternia, my family personally has gone through a lot of economic struggle and difficulty within my life. Of course, I am more fortunate than many other people on the planet. I was born in the United States, a fairly wealthy country, but being someone of fairly low wealth, fairly low income level, and living in a household with a fairly low income level in the United States, as a child, still wasn't like great. You know, it still wasn't a great quality of life. And so I survived. I was able to do things. You know, I wasn't starving to death on the street, but at the same time, um, I know that there's not too much distinction there. Like, if my family had only so many wrong moves, there's not too much that separated like us from homelessness at times. And I feel like that's something that really, really sucks, and that I personally, in developing Eternia, wanted to make sure as my mission that that would not happen to another family, at least under our care. That the purpose of our government, that the purpose of creating this nation is specifically to give benefit to those who may not be able to find it elsewhere, to allow everyone as a base standard of living to be able to invest in themselves, invest in their education, invest in their future, because we know that that ultimately is going to be the best payoff for the nation's development and for allowing, again, a higher quality of life for all of our people. Developing countries is hard. You are trying to create organizations of human beings to accomplish goals when a lot of the time our interests are not directly aligned and can many times even be opposed to each other. So finding ways in which we can cooperate and in which we can work together toward common interests is, you know, one of the hardest things that we've done. There are entire committees of people, entire industries built and designed around specifically trying to come up with solutions to these problems, trying to, you know, make it easier for different negotiations and talks to happen, to make different deals go through around the world. And that's a complex game. It's people's lives, it's people's money that you're dealing with. So before making a nation, that's one of the biggest things that I would encourage people to think about is you are taking other people's lives and money in your hand and having that risk associated. Those people may believe in you a lot. And so you saying something like, I would, you know, have myself and the other members of the nation take a profit from that, again, is not, it's something you can do. You have the ability to do that. It is your choice to do so. But if somebody invests in your system and ends up drawing the short end of the stick and becomes one of the poorer people in your nation, that person has now had you profit off of a lot of their labor and efforts in which they were not able to be adequately supported through. And again, it may not be the fault of anyone's fault in particular. It may have been because of circumstances in their life. You know, if the primary breadwinner of your household all of a sudden develops cancer and has to have lots of extensive medical treatment and has bills and things like that, it's going to be very, very hard for you to achieve, you know, year after year growth and, you know, stable wealth building and things like that for your family. You're probably going to be living paycheck to paycheck. And so for a lot of people, if you end up on the poorer end of the societal spectrum, things aren't so great for you. And if other people benefit off of that, and if other people are incentivized to ensure that others are always, you know, kept in a lower class and a lower socioeconomic situation than them, there's always going to be an incredible amount of difference between the lives of the very richest people in society and the very poorest. And that sucks. Because we're all made of the same stuff. We're all people. And a lot of the time, the way that historically that has developed has been along, racial, gender, sexual orientation lines, things like that. You can see that the most abused and oppressed people historically are also the people who end up in, statistically speaking, some of the worst socioeconomic situations out there. And that's simply because of these systemic developments where these marginalized groups of people are of course marginalized. They're discriminated against, which makes it harder for them to elevate themselves in the society, which makes it easier to discriminate against them, and so on and so forth. That's something that I'm sure many people have a better take on than I do, but that's a huge factor in developing the Empire of Aeternia, and I think most micronations should at least have some kind of moral conscience about that and make a decision as to how much or little they feel like they're going to help their citizens, that they want to actually develop and benefit the lives of their citizens, because that being the case, you have to tell that to people out front if you are going to take a profit from your nation's citizens, and that's going to be the leadership style that you have. I think people need to be well aware of that, because then they are taking this risk of saying, hey, well, if the country grows but I end up suffering, if I make $30,000 a year but I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I'm barely able to survive on that, and I spend all of my money on that, then if all of a sudden at the end of the year I'm billed $1,500, well, I may not have that. Or if it's taken out of my paychecks beforehand, that may not be a livable wage for me anymore. But if that is a livable wage or argued to be a livable wage in the macronation that I say work in, and then I come to the micronation that I live in, and I get charged this very high tax on a very low income as it is, that can become a very strenuous situation for your citizens. So again, I've been harping on this idea for too long. Again, it's not anything specific against your idea or that developmental structure. It's just trying to look at the potential problems that could be developed down the road from that. And I hope that you can use those ideas to improve and perfect your system, because I sincerely hope it offers benefit to people. Casey says, I'm thinking way outside the box, LOL, just what I see it to be in the future. And again, I definitely appreciate that. We always need new ideas in micronationalism, and we always need ways to challenge each other's ideas. What I'm doing in kind of poking and prodding at that is just trying to get you to think about, these are not softball questions, but they are questions that are fairly direct as to the logical conclusion of some of the ideas that you're developing. So if I'm just able to come up with these kind of off the top of my head, if you say went to a local news station and you started talking about this, or if you went to some sort of political podcast and you started debating them or something, they may just have a lot harder hitting questions than we do. And if you aren't able to answer our questions and come up with good justifications for why your system is set up the way that it is, then it may be even harder as you try and grow. Even just individual citizens trying to ask inquiry about your nation, learn more information. If there are certain questions that you can't answer for them, or that they don't feel satisfied with the answer you give them, that may dissuade a lot of people from citizenship. That's even a thing in the Empire of Aeternia. There are people who are coming to the Empire of Aeternia for all different reasons. There are some people who message us and say, hey, I want to become the head, like some head of government. I want to become the head of parliament or whatever in Aeternia. And then I go, oh, well, Aeternia doesn't have a parliament. And they say, okay, well, what's the second highest position? I want to become the vice president of Aeternia. I want to become the vice emperor of Aeternia or whatever. And it's like, well, a lot of those people are looking specifically to run a governmental position in Aeternia, and that's a particularly serious endeavor for us, so we have to explain the situation behind that. There are other people who come to Aeternia who are saying things like, hey, I'm from like a third world country, and I want to move to Aeternia. I want to get a passport and a visa to the U.S., and I want to come and live and work in Aeternia. How soon can you guys make that happen? And I have to explain to those people as well, hey, that's not something we have the means or ability to do right now. One day, if we do, we will certainly be pursuing that, especially for people who can provide, special benefits to us, have certain educational backgrounds and industrial backgrounds and stuff like that, who we would want to immigrate to Eternia, but or at least that we would have preference in immigrating to Eternia. But the larger issue there is that as of right now, that's not reasonable for us to pay all those fees and jump through all that paperwork in order to bring one person over when we still just need to develop our own local citizenry. So everybody has their own interests, everybody has their own reasons for joining a country, and what they want to get out of that for their life. So you're going to have to be able to make your pitch to people and know that that's going to bring some people in and excite some people with what you say, and that other people are going to get turned off by that. And they're going to say, well, that's not really what I'm looking for. But you have to know what that means for you, because I see a lot of micronations who want to accept anybody and everybody, and who want to, say whatever it is that can get somebody to become a citizen of their nation. They'll promise them kind of whatever they want just to get another person saying that they're a citizen of your micronation. The big problem there is that, one, it devalues your micronation and the things that you do, because it means you're really easy to cave in on stuff. But the other thing is that, it kind of means anybody can get a position in your nation. But the other thing is that it creates such a wide net for the type of person that you're looking for that you will have probably a lot of internal conflict, because, if you have people of very wildly different political views trying to come together and make decisions, that can be difficult. As well, if you are in a situation where, you are promising people different things and different positions, you may see yourself in trouble in a situation where, one person thought they got promised a lot until you promised a lot to someone else, and then they realize, oh, well, if only I had held out, I could have gotten a better deal and gotten a higher position and more money and so on and so forth, better medals, better prestiges, whatever. And that will become a large contributing factor to your nation. People not joining because they feel there's some inherent value to the efforts that you're pursuing, but that they will join because they're looking to see what the immediate short-term payoff is for them, how high they can start out on the rung of your civilization. And so really thinking about that is something that I would make a top priority as somebody developing a country. What is it that we are trying to do? Who is it that we are? Who is it that we are looking for to become a citizen? Who's going to fit with our goals and our ideas the best? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's going to come down to. That's what's going to determine who can support you and why they're doing so. But yeah, I definitely appreciate everybody being here and hanging out again with us at like 3:30, 4 a.m. What time is it? 3:29, almost 3:30 in the morning. We are again cutting 200 notes for David. This is absolutely historic event for the Empire of Aeternia. We've never had anything like this. I kind of want to talk more about it. I would love to do like an Instagram live or something on Twitter or something to kind of blow this up to more people and let them know, because really we've never had a situation before where somebody has just kind of angel invested in Eternia, where that's actually not true at all. The person who inspired that has to be Stephen, 100%. I was about to straight up just trip over Stephen's entire legacy and just not even bring that up. Stephen, absolutely the person who kind of inspired the Aristocrat board. Stephen being somebody who came into our channel, before the 1,000 sub mark, before even the probably like 500 sub mark, maybe around 400 or 500 subs, Stephen came in. But he supported us, he believed in us, he hung out in the live streams, he, actively talked to us and tried to help us come up with ideas and plan things. Stephen very quickly became an integral part of Eternia, not only as a participant and as somebody who legitimately seemed excited to get things done and to play an active role, but also as somebody who felt it necessary and beneficial to provide a lot of monetary investment for Eternia. Stephen is still only one of two of our $20 a month tier on Patreon. The highest tier that you can get on our Patreon is $20 a month. It's Imperial Bonds, where on top of getting your name shouted out and stuff like we're doing now, as Stephen is one of our highest ranking Patreon members, you also get Imperial notes out of that. One Imperial note a month. And so Stephen has been slowly stacking up his benefits as an aristocrat through that, but he is the person who ultimately inspired all of it. Like, he was the first person to do that. When we didn't have anybody else on our Patreon, Stephen was at the $20 tier, making waves right away. He was who inspired a lot of the competition with, Matt and Richard, and all of these people who came in and started really trying to push for economic development in Eternia and, monetary compensation of Eternia for our efforts and for our progress. These are the people who took us to the next level, and you cannot talk about that without first mentioning Stephen, because he was truly the catalyst to all that. And that's something that I will always respect and will always be super, super proud of mentioning in our history, is that Stephen was the absolute momentum behind that. Even, as the leader of Eternia, I can hype stuff up all day, and I can say, hey, this is really valuable, and you should invest in it, and this is why it's important, and this is why it's good to, support our economy, because one day if we're really big and we're really strong, then it'll help you, and the money will be worth more, and you'll feel like you made such a good investment. But I can pitch that all day long, and that doesn't mean too much if people don't feel it valuable themselves, if they don't see anybody else who finds it valuable. I can't buy all of Eternia's currency. I can't be the only one supporting the Empire of Aeternia. And as we've gone on, we've had people like Stephen who have been a part of the Empire for so long and have contributed so much that other people come in and see just an elevated level of value that has been created here, something that has been defined solely by somebody having the belief in us enough to put their money behind us. And that's something that is very special. That's something that doesn't come around super often and is a rare thing for a lot of people, especially starting off fairly small, and especially in a very niche community. It is something that is, as rare as a lightning strike almost, and yet that one lightning strike has now led to a cascade, which has led us to this moment today. So looking back at any of the economic history of Eternia, looking back at any of the ways that we've developed, if you fellow micronations are looking to emulate to any degree, looking to copy us and learn how we did things, primarily that is going to be by having those first believers, those people who are really going to want to invest and who are excited about it and who can show other people the value of that investment. Of course, you need to make sure that you're providing value on the other side of that. You don't want to give people a false sense of value. You don't want people to support you and then find out later on that, there's some inherent problem with what you're doing or something that takes the value out of it for them. But so long as you can provide a legitimately beneficial service, so long as you can provide something which is helping people and will help to increase the value of people's investment over time, you can, if you're lucky enough, find people like Stephen for us who is that type of investor and who is somebody who sees that vision and who can help to make it a reality through their funding and support. Like I said, Stephen is much more than that. Stephen has been a politician in the Empire of Aeternia. He has had his own political footprint in the Empire. He has had his own historic footprint in the Empire with our visit to him, with a lot of our live streams, the things that we've done with him. But that is all stuff that is overshadowed almost by his being the single driving factor behind a lot of Eternia's economic spark and the growth that we've developed there. Again, that's part of his political legacy as well, being the master of the House of Treasure. Having a direction, having an idea, having a belief in what is best for the Eternian economy and the reasons that he invested in it and felt it valuable. And that has truly paid off. I'll give you a great example of that. I have always been in huge favor of our Etsy shop. Our Etsy shop is something that, of course, is quite valuable for us. As of right now, we've surpassed $600 in sales on our Etsy, which, first off, let's give a round of applause for that. That's incredible, right? That's something that we've been trying to push for a long time. Hitting that 500 mark was crazy. But that being the case, when our government first started and when we were first developing Eternia there, I asked Stephen, what he thought between the Patreon and the Etsy was more important for us to focus on. And I was super concerned about the Etsy. And Stephen kept bringing up, the Patreon's a really important thing for us. He was like, I definitely see the value in the Etsy, and we should definitely continue to invest in the Etsy. But getting the Patreon to be something reliable was very high on Stephen's priority list as the master of the House of Treasure. And that was something he talked about regularly. I think even on his January goals video that he did for the Empire around this time last year. Oh, dang it. I goofed one of the notes. That being the case, though, Stephen was really pushing that Patreon. And this was at a time where Stephen was the only patron, the only person actually developing the Empire in that realm. So for him to look at something that didn't really have any external investment beside himself and say, no, I see what this can truly be for Eternia. And now us being at, $50 a month on Patreon. Again, a good percentage of that being Stephen's direct support, but now having more than Stephen's amount of support in support from other people every single month is something that has been an incredible bonus for us and allows us to feel so much more comfortable, because with Etsy sales, we may make $200 one month and then make $0 for the next 3 months. And that'll just be how it is. So we may have money now, and then we put all of that toward our land purchase, but we don't know that we will have that recurring in the next month or the following. But with the Patreon, people being supportive of our Patreon and regularly helping that, we can estimate, as long as these people stay for a good few months, we know we'll probably be making $50 a month or more down the next 3 or 4 months. So you can start to plan larger projects and larger ways to invest money like that when you are getting to these larger and larger stages. Also, we have 2 viewers right now. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I know that probably a lot of people see how many different things are happening on the stream and they kind of click off. They're like, oh, okay, I got the 400 thing. I saw the wax thing. I saw the, all of that, and kind of headed out. But there are so many people who ask me about these specific questions on a near daily basis when we stream. And I'm now finally answering all of them. So, I'm giving the inside scoop on the Eternian economy. I'm giving sort of the background and the history that you'd have to dig through a lot of our videos in order to find out and understand about us and to really grasp the context of what's happened as our economy has developed. I just want to talk about that tonight. And I feel like as we continue to cut these notes marking this historic event for Eternia, it's really important to understand who the figures were behind its development. People like Richard Taylor, people like Stephen Vince, people like Gray Mare, people like now David. All of these people, being individual contributors, having their own different spin on things, having their own different investments. People like Tiffany. This is, everybody putting their own brushstrokes, their own unique things into the Empire of Aeternia. For example, one of the connections that you may not know about, Richard, our second aristocrat, used to be, for the longest time, our first aristocrat, and in fact, multiple time record breaking first aristocrat as well, achieving history on several occasions. Richard, one of his biggest methods of support for the Empire of Aeternia, and one of his biggest driving factors for supporting Aeternia, is his respect for Tiffany, and I think that has been seen quite a number of times. Tiffany being an incredible artist as well, somebody who is an engineer and who's very smart and very capable, but on top of that, technically, but on top of that is someone who has a lot of passion and has a beautiful artistic vision. She has developed art, on the Etsy, and something just that she kind of personally designed and wanted to put out there. And that was something that Richard actually asked for, he had seen on a live stream that she was drawing something for one of her family members, and Richard asked if she would be willing to, do commission art to draw him something for sale. So we ended up just doing that as kind of a private Tiffany thing that she could have the money for, that she could do herself. And so we ended up setting that up, and I think. Ooh, sorry, guys, give me one second. Oh, I love him. Is that him fully done, or is that just the start?
No, it's just the start.
Oh goodness, his little ear. It's very cute though. I like him. I like his little face. She's got like an 8-bit stitch that she's doing cross stitch on.
Cross
very
stitch
cool.
with stitch.
First off, Kevin Roosen government. Good to see you. It's good to see everybody. Casey said Tiffany seems like a value asset to the nation. LOL, and a good person, etc. I completely agree. Thank you, Casey. That means a lot. She is absolutely an incredible supporter to me, as a boyfriend, as a friend, as
I'm the boyfriend.
as Tiffany, as my boyfriend, as a friend to me. Tiffany has been a wonderful partner, business partner, life partner, in every sense. The thing that's really cool about that is you never know the different ways that somebody will be affected by somebody else in your life, in your organization, whatever that is. Just like I said, Richard being kind of inspired by Tiffany and I think really appreciating her, that increased his appreciation for Eternia. If you can find people who are valuable, if you can, support those people in what they do, then I think it breeds that support in other people. Hey, these people are making beautiful things. These people are, creating change. These people are doing things that make me proud to support them. And, that's when things like your currency start to gain value. That's when things like, the items that you sell gain value, because it's not, that their $5 item or whatever that they're purchasing is like a life or death decision for them. They're doing it because it is an Eternian product specifically. It is something that they know were made at the hands of Eternians. The Emperor, of course Tiffany, potentially David now. And those people have some value behind their names, some weight that they can push behind the support of those industries and those products. And that's, excuse me, that's ultimately what gives it its value. And I think there are plenty of micronationalists who will develop economies, will develop their nations, will put so much time and money and effort into it for years and years and years,
So cute.
and never get that concept. Yeah, it is very cute. I love that.
It's gonna take a while, but it's cute.
And so again, a lot of you guys who are doing the late night surprise stream and who are actually hanging out with us are kind of getting some of my raw views on a lot of this stuff, because again, I feel like there's so many times where we're covering a topic and just talking about some specific niche part of micronationalism, and that's all that people have on their mind is, well, I tried to gain citizens and I couldn't gain citizens. Why can't I gain citizens? Why can't I gain money for my nation? Why can't I get land quicker and all these different things? Why can't I start a currency easier? And it all comes down to those little steps, those little individual things you need. Hey, Tiff's opening the squishy. Let's see how it turned out. How'd it do, Tiff?
It's okay. It's just you're not there.
Ruh-roh. Sketty-o.
Here is the unfinished product.
Da-da-da-da.
Oh god, I'm not in the center. It always gets this little piece on the end, but I gotta go clean it up.
I love it.
Jinx. It actually. Oh man.
Can I squish you?
It always does this until like you mess it, you work it in. Yeah, but
It has kind of the
really,
memory foam
mean-
sort of feel.
yeah, initially it always feels like really tight at first, but then you like
Work it.
after we squish it a couple times, after we like squish it while heating it, it gets working and it's nicer.
Yeah.
I'll like cut it off.
Absolutely. And so yeah, I think when you're creating your nation and when you're developing the society that you're developing, it's really important to think about the people who are doing things in there, and, the roles that they play, and also what that means for your nation. What that defines about who your people are. Because the better you can determine that, the more that you can accurately assess that, the better you will understand why people are joining your nation, the better you will understand, the desires and interests of the people in your nation, so that you're finding people who not only are excited about the same things, but who are also a good fit for the future goals of the nation, so that they get excited and they join because of the things that they see now, but they're investing long term because of the people who are there and the ideas that they see that are being planned for and coming to life throughout their process of being involved. Their time being with your nation. And so again, we are just cutting these notes here, slowly trying to build up the economy of Aeternia, one cut at a time, one inch of the mountain moved, one day, leading to our ultimate goal. And that's the thing. Every day that I wake up and plan more stuff for Aeternia and talk to more people, talk to other nations, talk to you guys on the live stream, my plans at the end of the day are always different than they were at the beginning. At the beginning, I'll be like, I know exactly what I want to do, and I know, the way that Aeternia is going to be going for the next 2 months. And then all of a sudden, something hits me with a curveball, either, in the way of a new expense or something like that, which pushes our plans back, or with some amazing, wonderful thing that's happened that launches us forward in a direction that I would have never expected. Some of that is just trying to go with the flow and doing what you can to mitigate, situations as they arise. But the other part of that is trying to determine what is the most valuable position for your nation to be in at any given time. And sometimes rigidity is better, even if there's a new opportunity that comes along. If you're trying to wait for a big payoff and something you've invested a lot of time and effort into, you should probably try and continue that investment. You should probably try to continue to work for that payoff before you start something new. But on the flip side of that, if you are...
We got our little Saturn ring off.
Yeah. Tiff's showing all the cool people our new egg. Our little egg. What's its name? Aeternia ball number 038279.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely working. It's getting worked in now. It is becoming softer by the second, dude.
Hey, I love it. I also, Tiffany...
Oh man, this is a lovely one.
Yeah. I was going to say, Tiffany is not... Ooh, it's super soft. Tiffany's not super big into ASMR stuff, but this is definitely, if you guys are into ASMR right there. Hey guys.
And if I were you, I'd just mute it.
Welcome to the MICRONATION
You're supposed to
ASMR
whisper.
channel. Hey guys.
Quit that. No.
Welcome to the Micronational ASMR channel. Wait.
Quit it. Quit it.
Tiffany hates it. Alright. But yeah, that is really cool too. I like how awesome our squishies are becoming. Every time we make one, they get just a little bit better and a little bit better. And it's because of Tiff learning how to do it. She has tried to teach me, and I'm slowly getting better at it. But just like you guys saw with the not wrapping it up properly, I sometimes can mess up in that arena. I can sometimes damage our products and cost us time and money trying to redo them. It's not always the case, but when it does happen, it's always one of those things where I'm trying to figure out what we can do better, what I can do better, because a lot of times Tiffany's trying to correct me to help me see that a little more clearly.
I can do this. This is easy. This right here, easy peasy.
Yeah.
Lemon squeezy, just takes time.
Easy pleasy. Lemon squezzle.
Kinda. I mean, it's like coloring, but with thread. So.
Yeah. Tiff's so hyped. I'm so excited. I want to see the finished product. It's like your painting game. Tiffany does like the coloring book games
I
on her phone.
suck at coloring.
You kill coloring. You did that coloring good.
No, but that's a number color. And it's like, I don't know. I guess that's my way of being like, if I color enough things that already like tell me how to color, then I'll start to notice like shades for myself and like colors that go good together, and then eventually I'll be able to color it all on my own without like any source of like, this is what you should have colored it, or this is the thing that looks nice. 'Cause most of the time I'll just like pick colors that I think I like, and then I'll put them together, and then they look gross when it all comes together, and I'm like, ooh, those did not go together.
I get you.
I thought they would, but they did not.
But that's all a part of the experience and the art process, right?
So I'm gonna try to
Understand traditional color palettes and
understanding
design.
like what colors go where and the proper way to like shade. I can shade with just pencils, but you want me to do color? Oof.
I was gonna say I am
So
not
most of
an
my
expert on shading.
yeah. Well, shading's not that hard. But most people like can sketch and color, and I'm like, I can sketch. I don't color any of my stuff.
Yeah.
If it's black, then that's easy, because then everything's just black.
Fair enough. But that's like a personal preference, right? That's because you feel like you don't like how it turns out on your pieces.
Yeah, I don't like how it looks.
Gotcha. Do you feel like you've had ones that are better or worse? Like, are there any ones that you've colored that you're like, no, I'm proud of this one?
No, the only one that I've colored that's an original of mine is my astronaut, and I can go get it.
Yeah.
It's the only one I've ever colored.
Yeah.
And it's not great.
I love it. Ooh, for the fans out there, Tiff, of your art, do you think you would ever like sell commissioned art pieces? Like if somebody paid you like a good amount of money, would you start doing it? Are you passionate enough about the art?
I guess so.
That's cool. I believe in you, girl. I mean, Richard was hype about it.
Yay, another roll down.
Yeah. And you like Stitcher. That's the only thing that sucks, is that you couldn't do proprietary characters. I ripped both of them. Trying to dig the little paper pieces out so they don't crumple up the notes every time I try and cut, like it was just a second ago.
This is an original.
Hey, show it off.
Original.
I don't know if people can see it super well.
Original yellow. It's too dark.
You gotta explain what it is. You gotta do narration.
It's a cat, and it's a butterfly. You know, kind of cool.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
a butterfly cat.
You have to see it in the light, but I used a gel pen so you can see the reflection of the whiskers.
It is actually really pretty. I wish I had like the camera good now. The battery died on it.
This is my first time trying to color. See, it's not great.
I love that
Sucks.
one. That's your cute Puss in Boots one.
Yeah, I can't color. Try to do a real person, but that has a name on it, so I'm not gonna show. Oh yeah, these are my tigers.
Tiff
lovely.
loves tigers.
I gotta remember that I like have signed these. I don't remember like. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? I think I put it on the back.
So yeah, guys, if you are wanting to get Tiffany a present, get her a live tiger.
That's another color, but I'm still not great at coloring. Although when I look at it in the camera has like a darkness to it that allows like a cool effect.
It makes it like more
It
contrasted.
looks better when it's not really that good.
I like it. The camera shows off really hard contrast, but then doesn't show any of the like fine details of the cat picture.
Oh man, yeah. The thing that's crazy though, right, is all the ones that aren't super great that I've done, they took the longest, and the ones that come out looking the greatest and the most like realistic took me like maybe 2 hours, and it's just done.
Yeah.
You got some people in the chat, I'm sure they would love if you would go and pay attention to them.
Absolutely. Let me see if you guys are running at the chance to buy some of Tiff's artwork here. Multiple things. 27 Kyle says, what are they even making? It's good to see you, Kyle. Kyle says, do you guys want a gun? Don't go to Ireland. It's hard to get a gun in Ireland. You could just die of old age before you can get a gun. That's fair.
AP doesn't really care for guns, so...
Got him. 27 says, what are they even making? We're making money because, as you may have read the title of this stream, David gave us $400. 200 put just directly as a gift toward our land purchase funding, and another $200 in notes. If you guys remember, $1 US equals 1 imperial note. We have a 1-to-1 exchange ratio with the US dollar. And you do that via the purchasing of 5 note packs on our Imperial Market Etsy shop. But, as you can see right here, a significant number of notes have already been made. This is probably 90-something notes right here. And we are going to a stack of 200. So there are going to be a good number of notes left in this little stack. And we are going to see how they work out. Dang it, dude.
You killed it.
I am killing it. So yeah, that's what we are up to right now. What are you up to, 27 Kyle? How are you doing? Like I said, we're cutting David's notes. Then we are going to actually print out David's citizenship license, laminate it, do all that sort of stuff. And you guys may get a chance to see that as well. Of course, we're trying to grow our watch time hours. So you guys hanging out and liking and subscribing and doing all that good stuff helps us a ton. You guys got to see our hydroelectric system earlier, so if you guys are wanting to learn more about that, you all who are just joining in, 27 Kyle, etc., if you guys are wanting to learn more about our hydroelectric system that we dropped a short about a while back, you guys can check that out, learn more about Aeternia's environmental progress and development. But in addition, we are doing a tremendous amount with our economy, which is what this stream is mainly about, developing things like our aluminum, our nice pretty aluminum bars and little ingots and stuff. Of course, our Imperial Market, things like our Unity metal, which we just had a purchase of, and we even did a an Aeternian seal ceremony. We did a seal ceremony to sign a thank you letter for our good friend Sarah, who now became the 7th aristocrat. We had 2 positions on the aristocrat board change, with David taking over the top spot from Richard at number 1 aristocrat, doubling Richard's, again, world record, or at least Aeternia record breaking 100 note purchase. That was the most that had ever been totally owned by anyone in the Aeternian economy. That doubled by David, and now we are, in addition, having Sarah beat out Mason Kodad, who was at number 7 with 10 notes, now being pushed to number 8, with Sarah coming in at number 7 with 15 notes. So again, helping to push our economy forward, helping to make a difference in the Empire of Aeternia are, of course, David and Sarah. And that's kind of what we're celebrating tonight. Is, you know, it's New Year's Eve now for us. It's 4:01 a.m. And we are making history in the Empire of Aeternia, starting off the year right, hopefully getting a decent number of watch time hours from you guys and your support, but also just being able to do an incredible amount with our support thus far, with all of our monetary support, with, you know, the plans that we've made with potential allies and things like that. We are developing quickly, and this new year looks like it's going to be a very, very bright one for us. So as we continue to develop, as we continue to grow, we just ask for that support. We ask that you share the name of Aeternia and let people know what we're doing, that we are trying to change the world, that we are trying to make a better society for our people, trying to increase the quality of life of people, and that we are doing so in the name of this nation that we've created, and in the name of the people who have helped to support us, like you guys. So every single time you let people know about us and what we're doing, you're not only helping to spread awareness of us, but also for the rest of the micronational community. That's, you know, men and women who are fighting for very similar goals in their own neck of the woods. And, as Aeternians, we always want to continue to grow and spread as our empire does, and as we get more powerful. So we want to offer more and more opportunities to micronationalists, to other communities who are wishing to develop, and that we can partner with to some mutual benefit. So as you guys help us and help us to grow, get things like monetization, we're able to turn that around into larger opportunities for other nations, say, as in coming onto our channel for interviews, so you guys can get to see a larger version of the micronational community that you may not be able to from looking up things on MicroWiki, say. As well, we are able to follow a lot of the current events happening in micronationalism, and as well in world politics. So when some big things are happening, again, you know, there's some micronations on places like Twitter and Instagram that will sometimes discuss things. You know, the rare YouTube video on a political topic or something by a micronation, or about an update that they are doing, but most of the time that's fairly slim, and so a lot of what we're able to do as a micronation is to help keep that community pushing forward and kind of help to report those things, help to show off who's doing what, dang it, in our community. So yeah, the more that you guys support us and the more that you guys help us to get our names out there, the more that you are doing for micronationalism. Yay! Tiff did it. Got you. She's so hype. She's got the ear done.
I did not.
She says she does not, but she's getting close. We have just a few more pages. Let me go ahead and count all these notes, because I have cut up a few notes that I messed up and now won't work. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120 notes. This is 120 notes right here. I'm sure we will need to print off some more in the future, but now we know that this stack has 120 notes in it, so we can kind of set that off to the side, and then when we need to count, we can start from 120 because we have that there. Okay, so let's keep cutting. But yeah, let me check the chat, see what you guys are up to. 27 says, I literally just got out of bed. Well, good morning. Happy New Year's Eve. It's good to see you. Francisco says, so they were doing this for the whole stream? No, we have been cutting that. We have been showing off how we made our squishies. We actually made a squishy. Like I said, I wrote a thank you note and I signed it. I did a seal ceremony earlier. We showed off our hydroelectric system. We have been talking about the reason the nations develop. We have been talking about, again, the changes in our Aristocrat board and what the future for Aeternia looks like. We've been talking about the new year. We've been talking about people's New Year plans. This has been a whole 3-hour stream. You guys have missed a lot. Testoria says, okay, 27 Kyle. 27 Kyle says, well, if your micronations gets big, you'll have to change up the money because people can just copy it. You need a way to stop it. So that's actually built into the way that our monetary system works. People keep telling us all the time, oh, well, you need security measures in your currency. You have to put things in your banknote to make sure that people can't copy your banknotes. But if our banknotes are based on a system in which you have to go through a middleman in order to make a transaction. So, for example, if you want to give somebody a certain amount of imperial notes, you can't just do that. That person has to have some sort of predefined, that someone has to have a predefined, ability to transact that currency with us. They have to have some sort of record with us, and that record needs to be maintained as different transfers occur. So if you want to purchase something in the Empire of Aeternia, the shop that you go to is going to have a specific record of how much money they hold, what transactions they have made, and the same for every individual. So if you have 200 imperial notes, for example, like David does, David can go and spend those 200 imperial, not currently, but in the ultimate form of our currency, once we have our money transmitter's license, David will be able to go to any business or any individual who accepts imperial notes, and that would be somebody who has a record established with us, and those people are then able to transact that through a system that we have developed. So even though this paper currency does exist, it exists more so as a symbolic physical version of something that is kept as a digital record. The currency itself, the means of transaction, is actually something that occurs digitally. So even if you print out something that is identical to this, and you print out 800 notes, you can't just go up to anyone and hand them 800 notes and expect that they will give you a product. You have to go through the official accounts that we have established. And you can do that with a paper currency so long as you also have your account to back that up. And you can do that primarily, very easily, directly through the government. And that's, again, a way to do that. But if you have everybody's accounts and records set up properly such that you know how much money everybody has and what transactions are occurring in your economy, then there is no way for somebody to counterfeit the physical currency that you have and to be able to get away with that, because the amount of currency in circulation is still exactly the same, and you still have to go through an official record in order to create any transaction. So that's just not a worry for our system. Somebody can print off as many identical notes as they want to our currency. In fact, our currency's design is something that people can openly and freely look up on the internet. But just because you have something that looks like an imperial note, if you are not recorded as having been issued imperial notes by the government through either a legitimate transaction or directly through purchase of the notes from the government itself, you will not be able to use those to any effect. They will not be worth anything to you. You have to have proof, which will automatically be established through any legitimate transaction of your record of having that amount of currency. It's something fairly quick, fairly easy to do. As we establish our currency more, but for the meantime, because our currency can't be used as a transactable medium right now, that's, again, something for a little bit further down the road. But that's the method that we're going to be using in the future as the imperial note becomes a transactable medium, in which we can ensure protection of our currency without needing any sort of silly security features embedded into the actual notes themselves. It's not necessary. This is simply a placeholder item for something that is ultimately going to be millions of digital transactions on a computer, more so on many, many different computers, on servers. Okay, so we have a few viewers. Republic of Testonia said, 27 Kyle says, also, if you get a lot of money AP, you should just get something that can auto-print money. Agreed. There are definitely systems that do that, and we would want to invest in one. I mean, at a certain point, if we really got good enough at it, and if we wanted to, we could design a system that takes into account the shape of our currency and where it is placed on a particular sheet of paper that was printed, and we could just have it hooked directly up to our printer, where if we are printing something that we know is going to be an order of imperial notes, we can have it print those pages, drop those pages directly into another machine, which just cuts them at that specified shape and does it near perfectly every time, so long as there's not a jam or some fault in the system. That would be the harder way to do it rather than just buying the thing, but maybe a little bit cheaper. But you're right, that's definitely something for a little bit down the road, especially, again, once our currency becomes a transactable medium, once we have a way to actually allow people to transact, to create sales based solely on the imperial note. And once that happens, that opens a lot of doors and opportunities for us and for the people who have already invested in our currency. But that is for a little bit later down the road. Let me see. Okay, and then that. And we've got more notes cut, so we're getting close. We're getting down to it a little bit. Let's read some other comments. Kevin Roos said same. Terry said Testonia said okay. Francisco said same. What's everybody said same about? I literally just got out of bed. I guess is why everybody's saying the same. Um, 27 says, why is it when I'm on YouTube all I see is 2022 will be bad? Perspective. People like, having their own opinion about what, doom and gloom and whatnot. But that's up to you. You determine how your 2022 is going to be. Do you think it's going to be good? Do you think it's going to be bad? What do you feel? Let us know. But yeah, what I think I'm actually going to do, guys, I wanted to cut all 200 of these notes, and I guess I will because I need to. I need to go ahead and get it done. But pretty quickly here, I want to start getting headed out. I might not print his citizenship license on stream, even though I think it'd be cool to show you guys. It's something where I'm getting a little bit tired. I know I'm going to have to wake up early in the morning to go and get the rest of the things that we need to put together people's packages and stuff like that, and to send all this out. But that being the case, I still appreciate everybody hanging out and like helping to get our watch time up. Again, this is something we've been pushing for a long, long time. So every little bit of that watch time helps an incredible amount, and is something that really you have no idea how much it impacts me. Every time we grow a little bit, every time I can update our land purchase funding and stuff like that, every time I can, give a little bit of a shout out for, hey, we moved that much more toward monetization or whatever, it fills me with so much joy personally, because I know it is the culmination of all the efforts of all the people who have helped us to get this far. And so, I sound like a broken record on that, but it's really true. Some of the most exciting moments that I have had being as a part of this community is when we accomplish one of those big goals, those big milestones that we've been pushing for weeks and weeks and months, or even years at this point. And it's all thanks to you guys that we are getting closer and closer. And that every single year that happens faster and faster and faster for us, where, one thing avalanches into another, where all of a sudden we're doing, 3 times better than we were the year before. And that's something that's interesting about our YouTube development and stuff in Aeternia, is that we, in our first year, grew like really fast. And then in our second year, we kind of slowed down. And then now in our third year, we have, kind of picked back up, but not to the like extreme pace that we were in our first year. And again, that's all relative to size. You know what I mean? When I say we were going up a lot in our first year, we were growing a lot percentage-wise. Hey,
touch it.
Ooh, it's like hard, but it's also like the fibers feel soft, but it feels tough as like a thing. It's interesting. But yeah, so having all of that development, having everything that we have done in Aeternia, be based around those milestones and stuff that we've accomplished is big. And I'm thankful to you all for that. Let's see. Okay, so we're getting close. Here we're about to have another 6 notes added to the pile, to the mountain here pretty much. But yeah, we are steady marching toward that watch time. We are steady growing toward all of our hopes and dreams and goals. Before we leave the live stream, I actually do want to go ahead and check our monetization one more time, because a lot of the time it won't flip until midnight or so. It'll take a little bit of time, even after midnight sometimes, for the analytics to go through and update for, the latest day or two of live streams that we will have put out. So the number may be slightly different than it was earlier when we checked the stream. That could be good, that could be bad, because it calculates it based on the net for a day. So sometimes, we'll look at that and it'll go up by, uh, it'll go up by 5, let's say, 5, 10 watch time hours, something like that in a day. And then it'll go down by 3 the next day. It'll be not only that we didn't grow, but that we actually lost some watch time. So it really depends on how many people we get in each individual stream, how long they stay watching. That's why we always encourage people to come hang out with us. And even if you're listening to music in the background, even if you're doing something else off to the side, if you're writing a Google Doc for your nation's constitution or whatever you're doing, being here and sitting, talking to us, sharing your ideas, being a part of the community, joining our Discord, keeping up with these streams, that feeds us just that much more watch time. That helps to propel us just that much further into the goals that we're trying to develop, and the future plans that we have for our nation and for the rest of the micronational community. We don't just want to be bystanders in this. We want to be leaders in this community. We want to pave the way forward for things that other micronations may not be able to achieve at this moment. And we want to provide opportunity for those nations to reach their goals, just as they have allowed us to reach ours. So in continuing with that and in trying to grow and develop, I just ask you all to keep helping us push for that. Keep being the fuel for change that we need. When you talk to people about our channel, when you tell people about micronationalism, please keep the word Aeternian in your mouth. Please make sure to let people know, if you have been inspired by this channel at all, if any of this has helped you or taught you or provided a community for you to express your ideas and to learn stuff, please know that took a lot of effort on a lot of individuals' parts. Uh-oh.
I stabbed my finger.
Ooh, be careful, Tiff. Don't stab yourself. Like Tiff injuring herself on the job. It took a lot of effort from a lot of different people to create the things that you see in our Discord server, that you see on our website, that you see, as a part of our culture, as a part of our background, our flag, our seal, all that stuff. That's the culmination of a lot of people's effort and a lot more money than I have personally. So I want everybody to remember that and to help make this a greater situation for us because of that, because of all those other people.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the back. It's just lines.
But it's very cute lines. It's very effective lines. And that's one of the things as well. I have, had people personally criticize me as far as saying, like, Aeternia has done this and this and that or whatever, but I don't really like you, or I don't really like your politics or whatever. And that's fine. I think, we're all different. We all have different opinions about stuff, but you have to agree that Aeternia has done some pretty impressive stuff for the micronational community, or at least in spite of being a micronation. We have pulled off some things that are pretty exciting, I think, in terms and in the scale of the micronational community. And every year it seems like we're doing more and more of that, so we're kind of pushing that boundary. So again, if that's something that you want to continue to see happen, if that's something that you have enjoyed following, please help to continue making that happen, because every single step is harder to take. Every single step requires more and more of us, but you guys have been matching that and exceeding our expectations there, and you guys have been allowing us to take that money, to take those resources that you provide, and to allow us to invest it in furthering that cause and doing things like investing it into our land purchase and starting to develop there. So you guys are helping us to build the foundation for those next steps. It's just that those big pushes, every day we had the little pushes hanging out in the live streams, commenting, checking out some of our old videos, making sure you have your notifications on, stuff like that, that you can do, which helps our channel. especially because we don't have a super regular streaming schedule. So if you have your notifications on, then you will get and make sure you have all notifications on. YouTube will hopefully keep our stuff in your recommended a little bit longer, so that even if you don't see a stream right when we have it, you can still go back later and watch it and kind of enjoy what we did. A lot of the time, YouTube is absolutely brutal, especially on micronationalists, because it's such a small niche for how they market your videos. You know, you will see for 90% of micronational content, unless it's made by somebody who isn't actually a micronationalist, but just a big YouTube channel that covered Microcon or something, you will see that most micronational videos are at the bottom of the search results for like micronationalism. Fortunately, we have been able to get higher up on that list, but even still, we have difficulty getting some of our videos to rank in search sometimes. And I think that's simply because it is just, you know, YouTube saying, oh, well, this is such a small niche that, you know, a lot of people, it's going to be a toss-up as to whether somebody's going to click on this video or not if we show it to them. But if you keep all notifications on and you are really aggressive with YouTube to tell them, show us the Aeternian content, make sure that that gets displayed to me. And doing those things makes the algorithm change a little bit and become more favorable to us. So, you know, help us to work over the mighty algorithm and to keep micronationalism on the top of its game. Ooh, I see a lot of people talking about like European politics. Tell me more about what's happening in the Baltics and stuff. I see people hitting up some interesting Euro talk. What's going on with this? Also, how do European micronations feel about micronations talking about world events? I notice micronations on Twitter are never like, micronations shouldn't talk about world events, because it seems like that's all that micronational Twitter is people either, you know, discussing other Twitter micronations and like what they're doing, and, you know, discussing, you know, alliances or you know, drama that happens between different nations, or, you know, trade agreements, stuff like that. But then at the same time, the other aspect of it is literally like micronational leaders just responding to world news and world events. On YouTube and on our Discord and stuff, I have seen when I speak out, oh goodness, when I speak out about, you know, world events and politics and things that are happening out there, a lot of the time I get criticized because people will say, hey, well, you're a micronation. You consider yourself a separate entity from the macronation that you're a part of, from the rest of the world. So you shouldn't talk about world politics outside of your micronation. And I really strongly disagree with that. I think
you can say that, but then you can also be like, America, you shouldn't be talking crap about like European like
yeah, you shouldn't like meddle in other people's stuff. Yeah, agreed.
And you say the same thing in reverse. You can be like, Europe, you shouldn't be talking shit about America if it's not you. It doesn't involve you, so why does it matter?
Absolutely. Well, and I think that's the thing that's silly, right? Is that if you are a micronationalist, if you're somebody who's saying, I'm creating a country because of some injustice I see in the world, or because of some, you know, inherent belief that I have that these people that I represent are unique and deserve, you know, self-determination and to be able to create something on their own. If you believe that, then by that definition, you are already playing a political game. You already have opinions about the politics that are out there in the world. You're just wanting to be kind of casting the largest net you can to not, you know, to not pick sides on things and to not make your voice heard. But I think the best thing that you can do in politics is to have these conversations with people about these serious issues and to make your voice heard. You don't have to have a knockdown, drag-out fight about it. You don't have to curse at people. You don't have to be inappropriate. But you do need to be able to discuss those world issues. And that's how I feel about it. Also, we have 7 viewers. Thank you guys for liking. Thank you guys for supporting the video. Again, we had somebody donate $400 to the Empire of Aeternia. This is absolutely insane. As you can see right now, stacking like hundreds of dollars worth of notes, trying to finish their notes right here. I know it doesn't seem like a crazy thing when we're just sitting back and cutting these, but this is all going to one person. One note equals $1 US. We're getting up to 200 that somebody just, David, just purchased, which is now declaring him the first aristocrat of the Empire of Aeternia, the highest aristocratic position that is available, the highest aristocratic honor Aeternia has available for honoring the person who has the most wealth in the Aeternian economy. Now that doesn't even necessarily mean citizens. That means anybody. The person with the most imperial notes is the first aristocrat, and by this standard, David has effectively doubled his competition's status, with Richard Taylor having broken a record again not too long ago, fairly recently, defining the new standard for the first aristocrat as being $100, 100 notes, and now David, having doubled that, has set a much higher dollar value on the position of first aristocrat, which of course increases the value of our economy, increases the value of our currency, and allows us more opportunity to create larger investments and do more with the things that we are given. So we're very fortunate in that. I'm excited to see what we do with it in the new year. What are you guys up to this New Year's Eve? Let us know what your plans are, while I finish David's notes. That's one of the things as well. If you end up purchasing notes from the Imperial market, which I highly suggest you do, again, it can help you get on the Aristocrat board, can help you, kind of advertise your nation, or whatever it is that you're wanting to promote. The interesting thing about Aeternian notes is that because they're all handmade, because they're all hand cut, they are all a little bit unique. They, for the most part, have the same, they have the same design, they have the same layout, but the borders may be slightly different because they are hand cut. Some are going to be a little bit thicker than others, some are going to be a little bit thinner than others. As far as, I say thicker and thinner, I mean, I guess, wider and narrower in the, the length dimensions, length and width, so on. Just simply because we're trying to cut along straight lines, but it's not exact. We don't have a machine to do this. We're doing it, as I said, by hand. So I actually should have cut all of the sides off before doing that. But that makes our currency a little bit unique, I think. And, of course there are processes to get that to be a slightly higher quality, but I think for what we're trying to do and the purpose that we are trying to use this token of our, this symbol of our nation's wealth and development is certainly effective for what it is doing, and has produced a lot of ability for us to raise support and to generate revenue for our industries. And I think everybody kind of likes that, like the sense that, this is something that is 100% Aeternian made. This is something that was printed in an Aeternian printer. This is something that was, cut by Aeternian hands. This is something that was, designed and carefully, carefully made, formed specifically for the intended receiver. It's something that has a lot of time and effort and love put into it. Because just as those people are investing in Eternia. We are investing in them, and we are, believing that this currency is going to someone who values the same things that we do and hopes for a future, is actively building a future that is in line with our goals and ambitions. And you are helping us to connect with people like that every single day by, again, telling more people about the channel, by subscribing, by having those notifications on, all of which just shows that support even more for our channel, for who we are as a people. One of the things I've been wanting to do as well is to reach out to more like independence movements and stuff around the world, and trying to get in contact with more different groups that are developing in that way. One of the ones that I've been interested in most recently has been oh goodness, I'm gonna forget the name. The state of something country. Cook. It's not Cook. Dang. What's up?
The whatever thing.
No, it's something with a C. It's a Jamaican like independence movement. I'm trying to figure out the name of this group. Anyway, there is a native group in Jamaica that is actively vying for their own independence. They consider themselves, a unique entity outside of Jamaica. They are, again, a native group that has always asserted that independence and that self-reliance. And they are getting more and more recognition from the government simply because they are actively in the middle of a large fight to protect their land and their resources from a bauxite mining company, a foreign U.S.-supported bauxite mining company. And so the bauxite mining company is trying to actively push them out of their native land, and trying to kind of do that under the radar as much as possible. And these people are going out of their way to kind of stand up for their community and to raise awareness for what's being done to them. And the best way for them to do that, they've found, is to continue to assert their own independence and say, hey, you can't do this, not only because it's morally incorrect, but also because you don't have the legal pathway to do so. You don't have the legal privilege to do so. You don't actually represent our nation as the state of Jamaica, the country of Jamaica. Ooh, did you finish it? No, you still got a little bit to go. But he's very cute. A little bit. This is an insane amount of notes, legitimately, guys. 200 notes in one-note increments is a straight-up band, is a straight-up stack, is a straight-up beefy boy.
I thought you were going to say band as in, like, no one else can buy this much at one time. It's not happening. Too much work.
No, it's a band, not as in it's band. I'm not gonna let you.
I got you.
Yeah. In the rubber band context. In the amount that is so large it needs to be bound together by a thin strip of rubber, if you will. Also, we have 5 viewers. Thank you guys for hanging out with us again on a happy New Year's Eve live stream for the Empire of Aeternia. We're staying up kind of late to hang out right now with you guys.
Everyone else is saying, bro, I already went to sleep, woke up, saw you.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You're still going.
We're hanging out with, like, European people. They're like, it's middle of the day now, dude. We hung out with you when we were first getting up, and now it's, like, about to be the middle of the day. It's good to see everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you are enjoying your New Year's Eve, moving into, the celebration preparation for New Year's evening. I know Tiffany and I are going to be celebrating ourselves, and we'll be having fun. That's not something that we're going to be doing online. We're going to have, kind of a personal night to share with friends and family, but
Hey, you surely will want to hit up that short, though, and tell you guys Happy New Year's.
oh, absolutely.
Once it hits over here.
You know it. I will be wanting to do the ball drop with you guys and tell you, Happy New Year's, and that I appreciate everybody. So that would be nice. Mm. Let me see. Let me see if I can cut it up. See if I can do the slicey diceys. Hey, very nice. Hey, very nice again. Okay, so let's count how many notes we have. We have to be close. We have to be close to 200. Again, I have damaged some of them, so some of them won't be usable, but all of these are. I'm going to go back and print however many new ones we need and cut those after the fact. But
About
1,
5 pages.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 177 notes. We still have more notes to do.
33.
We have 33 more notes left
It
to
is
do.
23.
23. Yeah, 23 more notes left to do. I'm tired. I'm so tired. We have 23 more notes left to do. I think I'm going to go ahead and do those off stream. And again, I'm going to print David's citizenship license and everything else a little bit later on because I got to head to bed. We got to get to bed and get up in the morning and do stuff. So I love you guys as always. I appreciate you guys hanging out, helping us to keep our watch time hours up, helping us to do more and more as the Empire of Aeternia. And until next time, I will see you soon. Peace, everybody. Thanks for joining. Eternia forever. Thank you for being here and hanging out and spending time. Everybody have a good night. Long live the Empire of Aeternia. Also, make sure you get all those notifications turned on. Make sure you double check, because I look at our notifications, and sometimes it says that most people don't have those notifications turned on. Also, let me recheck our monetization and see where we're at now. We are at 3465. Oh no, see, we were at 3468 earlier, and now we dropped by 3 watch time hours. So we went down a little bit, but we're still pushing. We're going to get it back up to that 3500 very soon. Peace, guys.